Everybody's attention, please. Okay. First thing I want you to know is welcome to day 2. Welcome to day 2. I'm your host, Steve Sapato. You are at SpeakerTalks. What I want you to understand is we're now going to a new format. So starting in a few minutes, and we'll have to work this all out, you're going to hear speakers talk for 15 minutes. Okay? If you have questions, I will be glad to take questions when we're done with this little episode. But I also want you to understand we got 5 judges sitting down here. The judges are going to be keeping score of how the speakers are doing. At the end of my speech, let's say I finish my 15 minutes, I go, I'm Steve Sapato, thank you very much. I want a nice big round of applause. There's only a few of us here today. Hopefully we'll have much more wander in throughout the day. But I want that camera to pick up all the applause, so make it sound like there's 100 people in here. You guys good with that? Yes. Okay. At the same time, when they're done with their 15 minutes, then the judges have to write things down. So we've got a 15-minute gap in there, okay? So when the judges are all done, they're going to give me all their stuff, and then we're going to start the next speaker. So even though you might be scheduled as a speaker from 9:15 to 9:30, you might go on at 9:05 because we've moved up as we've progressed. Everybody good with that thought? Okay. I thought we had extra time this morning. We had one speaker fall out because she had a death in the family, but we don't have enough time to bring in somebody else, so we're going to stay with the format we've gotten. Okay, so my judges have been given their instructions on how to be good judges and what we're looking for. Everybody else in the audience, this is Miguel. Miguel, you want to take over?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'm going to try to speak my best English. I have been here for 5 years only. Then if you don't get something, Steve is going to translate for me. Okay? Then just you raise hand, I didn't get it. Then we figured it out how, okay? Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit. This is the first time that we are going to try this in this event with Steve. He very kindly opened the door to me to try to show this methodology to you guys, okay? And we call it this meta plan. This is a German methodology that we are using in companies in Latin America. Firstly, in Colombia. I'm from Colombia. We have used in Ecuador, Brazil, Central America, many places. The first part is meta, that in Spanish is goal, and plan, that is the same word in Spanish and English. How to get the goals, making plans, okay? But we are not that kind of consultant. It's like we are facilitators. The idea is to manage ideas, manage problems, and find solutions from people inside the company, and we just facilitate the process to get good results. Then, today we are going to apply this for giving a little feedback from speakers to a speaker. Then how they see your other competitors, your same level speaker status, to say something, okay? This is very good because it's like this. You are going to have an index card. I learned the word yesterday, index card. And you are going to write down here, in the white one, you are going to put one thing to improve. What you think that speaker needs to improve. And in the color one, because it's already with color, it's already well done, one strength, okay? Just one. Because if we have, like, I don't know, 13 speakers, 13 positive things, and, 13 positive things and 13 things to improve is enough, okay? Some rules. You are going to write max of 2 lines. Then you have to be very, how you say, concrete? Okay. Just 2 lines, 2 rows. Big, please. Then they can get it. And I don't know, like separate letters. I don't know how to say it because I don't want like together writing. How you call that?
Legible.
Like print, exactly. Okay. Print name. Okay, good. Attention. You cannot put here the word attention. Is continue in the back. No, it's just with this one and that's it. Then you just focus in what you have to tell in few words, okay? Everybody is gonna have a market, same color, and this is for positive things, this is things to improve. What else? You cannot put a name, please, okay? I'm gonna give you guys, before every speaker, I'm gonna give you the cards. As soon as that speaker finishes, I'm gonna collect them, and then at the end of the day, I'm gonna give the package for each speaker. Then they can go home and read them at home. Why I'm not giving this right away? You know why? Because the next speaker is gonna be talking just to the judges. The rest is gonna start like, oh my God, really? Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that I was good on this. We are gonna have everybody distracted with the feedback. Then it's better at the end of the day to have it. What else? Let me see if I forget something. Why anonymous? Why you don't have to put the name on it? Because we have tried many things, and human behavior. If I have a feedback from somebody that I really don't like, I immediately reject that idea. Even if it's the best idea that I can get, but it's from him or it's from her, then I don't want to know about it. Here, you don't know. You don't know who is telling you that. We use this a lot for evaluating leaders. Everybody, we have the apps, and please tell anything that you want about me. I'm your boss. I'm open to listen to your criticisms, but everybody's afraid. Why? Because you know my email, or you know where I'm writing from, then when you keep anonymous, you can tell anything, and the important thing is they're gonna get honest feedback, okay? Then that's why we don't put any name on that, okay? And we manage all the ideas like this. Teamwork, we use it a lot, because the important thing is where we want to go. What is the goal? What is the point B to get there? And that it should be the leader. Even if a teamwork have many leaders, that is the main leader, okay? The goal, the purpose to be a team, okay? Any question? Is clear enough? I didn't need you, Steve. Excellent.
Miguel Terrera. Thank you, Miguel. If anybody needs an ink pen, this is for everybody. Just so you know, this is for everybody to participate. So I want you all to grab these index cards and everybody to participate. So the audience gets to be part of this whole thing to help the speakers get better. And again, it's one thing that they can improve upon. Don't pick on them. Don't, if it's something really teeny, maybe put it in, but probably not. Right? So if you said, boy, Steve, what I want you to do is move some more. Okay, put that in there. Or, you know what, Steve? You walk from side to side too much. Don't do it. Okay? And so it's really important that you participate with the right spirit, which is to help the speakers improve. Tell them what they did great. And again, one sentence. Man, you were great at this. Your topic rocked. Okay? What can you improve upon? Well, Steve, you stuttered a lot and it didn't seem like you knew your topic. Okay, great, thanks. Next time around, I'll get better at that. Right? Or, Steve, you know what? Your vocabulary was way above our heads. Right? Because you know speakers like that, right? Especially if they're scientific speakers, right? And they start to talk about these topics, and I always got to bring my speakers down. I go, hey, you know what? When you're talking about this, I don't know what you meant. You have to bring it down to our language, what everybody's going to be listening to. So if you have those kind of suggestions, that's what Miguel's talking about. Do you want to pass out your index cards and your markers? Okay. David, can you hear me? It seems like I'm a little too hot. Am I too loud? Yeah, a little too loud, so if you bring it down, that'd be great. Okay? All right. Again, I thought we were going to have time for a speaker. What you need?
I forgot something. I'm going to give you 5 cards of 5 colors, 5 white, because we have only 5 speakers in the morning. And in the afternoon, I'm going to give the other 5. just to let you know, it's one,
Cool.
one color, one white for each speaker, no more than that, okay? Even that I'm giving you.
And white is for what they can improve upon. Yellow is what they did really well. All right? If you don't think they did anything well, say, hey, that was great. Thanks for coming.
Hey, shut up.
Yeah, don't say, thanks for having the courage to get on stage. No, that's not it. Okay. All my speakers have been told they got 15 minutes. Right down here's a nice big clock. Set at 14:59. As soon as you start to speak, that clock starts. Finish before 15 if you want to get rated properly. One thing you're going to find out as a speaker, especially as a fee, well, I shouldn't say that, in every situation, whether you're a fee speaker or you speak for selling from the stage, they give you this much time. If you say, does anyone have any questions, and you've already reached your 15 minutes, you're over your time. We good on that? You have 15 minutes, including any question and answer session, so don't go over it. Phil. My mic is hitting my collar. Oh, this one? That's what's banging it. Thank you. See how I didn't even notice? I knew there was banging. I thought it was just the system popping at me, you know.
The other way is, how do we know if they're passed? Is someone going to be behind there telling us done?
No, we'll keep track of that. So if they're at 16 minutes, you'll probably see me going right from the back of the room, because it means you've messed up bad. Because when you have a time set, so I'm a fee speaker. People pay me $10,000 to come on and do a keynote. Is that still way down there? That's weird. Okay, I'm a fee speaker, so I get $10,000 for a 50-minute speech. I say 50 minutes, because it depends, 45 to 55. The one I'm doing in Las Vegas says you have 90 minutes. Okay, now I got 90 minutes, right? But you have to know your time, like this. Because just like now, if you have 15 minutes and you take 25, I don't have time for the next speaker to be introduced and get up. You've taken up my time. You've messed up my whole timeline. If you take too short, we had somebody last year. They started to talk. I walked out to get some coffee. Somebody ran out and got me and said, hey, they're done speaking. What do you mean? They just started. They talked for less than 3 minutes. Messed up my whole routine. Messed up my routine, but it messed up how we were going. I had to now fill in 15 minutes of BS before I got the next speaker up. I know, some of you think that's not hard for you, Steve. That's just mean. But it's not something we want to do, right? We usually have these things planned out. So always be aware of your time. Time is absolutely your value when you come on a stage. Make sure you know your time. And I've told all the speakers this, they should know that. 12 minutes is acceptable, 16 minutes is not. Matter of fact, 15:01 is not, all right? So those are the kind of things that I want you to be aware of. And I might say when they're finished talking, I'll be in the back of the room, I'll be over here. I will not be introducing the speakers from here. I won't stand up here and go, hey, today we're going to have, no. I'll be back here reading the intro that you guys gave me. And I'll expect you to come up on this side of the stage if you would be so kind. So if you know you're the next speaker up, just go plop in a pew over there. Remember, don't walk in front of the people. Always walk behind. Keeps on dropping. My ear is weird today.
Do I have to do everything?
He has to do everything for me. That's why I have Phil at all my events.
Gee, thanks. All right, let's try that one.
Okay, we'll see how that works. But what I want you to understand is, come from a theater background. Remember how annoying it is when you're listening to somebody, it's a quiet place and the door bongs when somebody comes in or out? And most people look back. You're just distracted from the person speaking or from the theater it was happening in. Always remember, there's a camera somewhere taking pictures. If you leave during a speech, forgive yourself, right? Because they're only 15 minutes long. You have to go potty, wait till that person's done, and slip out and go to the bathroom. Which reminds you, the bathrooms are right outside these doors on either side, men's and women's. Okay? So all I want you to know is if you have to move over to that side, walk around. Come over to that side. Everybody good with that? I don't want you crossing in front of the speaker, in front of the cameras. If you stand up in the middle of their presentation, the camera's probably going to catch you somewhere. Try not to stand up in the middle of somebody's presentation. If you're out going to the bathroom, getting a donut, grabbing a coffee, please do not come in during somebody's presentation. I'm a professional speaker and trainer, corporate trainer. I have other trainers. Now, I'll be speaking to 30 people, training them on something. I usually do it pretty well to the seat of my pants because I know what I'm going to be teaching people. Other people are absolutely got to do it this way. And if somebody walks into the back of their classroom, they freak. And they'll tell you, why did you walk in the back of my classroom? I was teaching. It's like, wow, really? Somebody shouldn't be able to upset your flow by walking in the back of the room. Okay, so as a speaker, get used to interruptions, even though we try and minimize them. All right, any questions so far? I'm showing 9:02. We're good. I'm going to put my ink pens back, and I'm going to go back there. Paul.
So we can walk around while you're up on stage?
These guys are harsh, aren't they? Paul was going to get up and do a dance later. I'm not going to let him now. Oh, wait. Come here, Paul. I got something. I got something for you. Come here. In case no one knows it, it's Paul's birthday today. So join me in singing Happy Birthday to Paul. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Paul. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Mr. Paul Fink.
Thank you so much, everyone.
What? Oh, Phil says, silence your cell phones. If I have to tell you people that, I wonder if mine's silent. That's a good question. You ever do that? I do that all the time. Make sure everybody silences their cell phone and then mine goes off in the middle of it. I'm like, thanks a lot. No, everybody will have to get, we either have a microphone or you'll have to go see David, and David will put a lavalier thing on you. Okay, we only have two, either the microphone or the lavalier. Okay. What? No, you can pick up the microphone right over there. Just set it right over there by the plant, and they can pick it up on their way up on the stage. How's that? Nope, don't David. There he is. I'm just gonna, you got first person stuff pulled up?
That's what I needed to go over. I wasn't going to use first.
Oh. Da, 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 da.
And if we need to switch you to lapel to make it easier for you,
Yeah, we'll probably have to do that.
okay, I've got it set up right there. And that's my call it personal day today. And so my HR person just called me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I was like, oh.
Oh, where's Kristen? Kristen, do you have my notebook? Chelsea had an emergency, so she will not be here. Darren, how are you? It'll be Harish, Linda Bruns, Tim, Anjan, and Kristen. Okay, so before you speak, if you see the person in front of you has the lapel mic and you wanted a lapel, you have to wait for them to get off stage and then we will switch you, okay? So like Harish will come back here David will unmic you and unmic him and put it on you. So make sure that you're ready for that kind of stuff. Everybody okay with that? So that's what we're doing right now, taking time to mic him up. Oh, it's hectic at old. I'm on this bell thing back here. And the step up is like 2 steps, and they only made it 1. What is up with that? I think I might sue the church. Handicap.
Can you give me a mic check? Give me a second. Go ahead. Say testing.
Testing, testing,
You speak out.
testing, testing.
Gotcha. You're good.
Do you ever wonder why somebody says testing? When you're testing a mic, do you need to say testing? Or do you need to say, hey, this is Steve Zapato, and I'm going to make sure my mic works? I go and see bands. I used to be in a band when I was young, and I go up and I see bands going, test, test 1, test, test. Shut up. All right? Say something worthwhile if you're going to talk. That's my thought process. All right. Let's see what we got going here. Make sure I got them right. Okay. Do you need to put anything on his thing? No, we'll just do it this way. I'm not going to have you put up anything. Okay. All right. Everybody ready? Yeah. We have a legally blind serial entrepreneur, course author, software architect, and public speaker. He will be giving a speech titled The Top 3 Secrets of Successful People. Harish is the founder and CEO of Solutions UI UX, a custom software company, and he's the co-founder and co-innovator of Elio Smart AdPad, innovative technology to help disabled people, founder of accessinneed.org, a charity nonprofit organization to help disabled people. Let's give a warm welcome to Harish Biram.
Hey! Martin Luther King Jr., Nobel laureate Malala, Mahatma Gandhi, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, the names goes on and on. How many have you heard these names? Almost everybody. Have you ever wondered why you keep hearing their names over and over again? Can anybody guess? Repetition, yes. But why is the repetition happening? Successful, exactly. And what is the reason that they are successful?
They have something valuable to offer.
Right. And that whatever they have offered, valuable thing, has impacted people. It has motivated, inspired, energized so many people, not just hundreds, thousands, in millions. You don't have to be rich to do a massive impact on the world. Mahatma Gandhi was not rich, but he brought independence to India. The only reason he was able to do that is because of the 3 top reasons, actually. So let's go in the reverse order. Are you okay to have a little bit of interaction and movement and other things? Okay. So let me start with the secret number 3. If you can take your hands and make circles and bring them closer to your eyes. Just keep, and now you can remove it. So, can you guess what is the secret number 3 is? That's one way to look at it. Vision. And the actual one is clarity of vision. They all have an amazing clarity of vision. With their clarity of vision, they could understand what's in future and brought that perspective into the present so that they can inspire, motivate other people to march to that vision. If you look at any successful people, they cannot do it by themselves. Their clarity of vision and bringing people into their vision, making the impact. The only reason they can do that is because their vision is so clear and people buy into that vision. Martin Luther King Jr., when he gave a speech, "I have a dream." Actually, I don't think it was a dream. It was his clarity of his vision. And especially because of his clarity of his vision, that vision came true. Abraham Lincoln, clarity of vision. He made things happen. And it's actually not the person itself. It's their vision that makes them successful because of the impact that they want to bring into this world. So the second one, before I give out the secret number 2, I'll give out the content, and I want you to guess the second secret. And this has not been published anywhere. This is an observational study that I have been doing for the last 30 years of observing 50+ successful people. The success doesn't necessarily mean rich. It is the impact. So, how many of you here have had very boring jobs, the jobs that you have hated? So many of us, right? Have you ever wondered what is the reason why you hated that job? Can anybody give an examples of what are the reasons why you didn't like that job?
It wasn't something we were passionate about.
Perfect. That's one. Excellent. And anybody can guess? Challenging. Okay. Unfulfilling. Bad boss. That's a reason. But I want to go to the unfulfilling part. When you say to the unfulfilling, what is the reason why it was not unfulfilling? Why it was unfulfilling? Okay, can you?
You're not living your purpose?
Exactly. Man, you guys are smart here. So, the second top secret is purpose is one, and passion. So, I would like you to do one quick exercise. Bring one of your dominant hand to the top and swing it like a baseball bat. Right? Okay. Yeah. That's good. So, that's passion. You're swinging it, that's good. But you bring the other hand, you swing it again. Yeah. That's purpose now. You swing it both. Your passion is going somewhere, your purpose is going somewhere. Are you going to be able to hit a home run? So, what needs to happen? Exactly. So, when the passion and purpose comes together, it's a home run. It's the club in a golf club. Passion and purpose come together. In reality, it's very challenging to understand what your purpose is. But if you inquire deep in yourself, you can understand what your purpose is. And bringing your purpose, bringing your passion together in a complete alignment, it's going to make a massive impact. So there's no need of PhDs, big doctorate degrees. There's no need of millions and billions of dollars. There is a need of passion and purpose alignment where things will happen as soon as you align. I'm still working on it. My passion is here. My purpose is here. I'm working on helping the disabled people, disabled community, and my passion on the software is coming here, so I want to get that as soon as possible together. So it is no longer two things. It needs to become one thing. So passion and purpose, two things, when they completely align, it can be like a heads and tails of, you cannot be able to distinguish between what is your passion and what is your purpose. And this is why a lot of people who have identified their passion and purpose made an impact. And everybody of us are impacted by this. For example, everybody is walking with a smartphone that has been innovated. 20 years or 30 years ago, if you have told somebody, hey, in few years, you will be walking with a device that is much more powerful than what IBM machines that have been innovated in 1970s. It's going to be much more powerful than the IBM machines. It's going to be in the hands of people, and it's going to do camera, calendar, compass, alarm clock, email. You just keep on going. How many features are there in this small device? So it's the tool, but the impact is very high. Now, that tool is helping us connect people all over the world. The Facebook, the social media, all of this technology that we are being blessed with, are we using for the right purpose, for the upliftment of the humanity? Are there people who are thinking from the ground up, how can we have a better world that can uplift the humanity so that it not just works for top 1 or 2% or 3% of the people, but rest of the 97% also gets all of the benefits of being a human being. Yes. And how to do that? The life has become a race of win, 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 win. But where are people living? Is a human being living? Every day in the morning or afternoon, what did I do? What did I do? Did I live? Did we live? Are we being? Are we just winning and losing, winning and losing, winning and losing? But are we in the being? We are called human beings for that purpose. So, passion and purpose alignment. Secret number 3. Now, let's take one of your hands, move it slowly, and take another hand, move it a little faster than the other one. And the one that you are moving faster, move it faster. Yeah. Right? So you notice one of the hands which was moving slow, and the one that got the momentum of moving fast. So this is the vibration, and this is the frequency. Like how fast you are going is the frequency, and how much energy you are putting. This energy is going to be very, very important, because people with low energy are going to oscillate at that slow pace. But people with high energy, high impact, high vibrations, they are going to help the humanity go to the next level. We are living in a world of capitalistic markets, capitalistic consumerism, but in future, it's going to be a creativity market. It's going to be how I am solving the problem of a humanity. It's not going to be about how much billions or millions of dollars some company is making. It's how many problems has this organization solved is going to be the root cause of their success. So, creativity economy. So, have you ever met people with low energy? Yeah? I met a politician, and I did a handshake with him. And his hand was slipping. It's like, yes, he lost the election, but his face was completely gone, low confidence. And I'm thinking, how can I have a politicians like this whose confidence is like this, and where all of us are looking for leaders who are at this, like Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, Malala, leaders like that. So, for anybody, any organization, anybody, it doesn't matter your education, your background, you can have an impact on the world by just these three things. And that's why we have visual representation, clarity of the vision, passion and purpose alignment to hit a home run, and then vibrating at a higher frequency than this. So when you vibrate at a higher frequency, that means you have high energy, high motivation, high inspiration, and that can be used to the world. So it is your duty and moral responsibility to give your passion to purpose and your energy, your vibration, your motivation, like all the examples I've given in the first. Those people have given their passion, purpose, motivation, energy to this world. Because in life, it's not, we make a living by what we get, but we make lives, many, many lives by what we give. So it's time for us to bring our passion and purpose alignment, vibrate at a higher frequency and have a higher energy, and go towards the clarity of the vision that we have in our mind. Thank you.
No, you'll come back here. You'll come back here. Okay. Yeah.
Put my notes on
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Yeah. Rosie, I sent you a text. If you, Rosie, I sent you a text. So.
The name of the speech again?
Harish. Harish, what was the name of your speech?
Top 3 secrets of successful people.
Top 3 secrets of successful people. So if you're filling out that information, we'd love to have it. That's one of the wonderful things that we're going to be experiencing today, is how to grow yourself as a speaker. If you're in watching, guess what? You're learning how to be a better speaker also. So every time you make comments to other people, do things to help other people, you're helping yourself. Okay, so as soon as Linda gets mic'd up, wherever she went to get mic'd up, we'll be on with Linda. Now, Linda's topic, let's see. That's a good question. Oop. Yeah. Okay, we're going to put Linda's topic as time to cross the rapids. Time to cross the rapids for my speaking coaches, for my speaking, whatever they're called, judges. Nobody said you had to be good at speaking to be speaking, right?
Actually, isn't that what we're...
Yeah, that's what we're trying to teach them, yeah.
Time to cross
The rapids, time to cross the rapids. And judges, you just hang on to those when we break for our 11 o'clock. I'll get those from you, and then we'll have Darren from Keep come up and do a little workshop for you for Keep from 11 until 11:45. Now, in case you aren't familiar, we have donuts out in the lobby. We have coffee and water out in the lobby. We also have sandwiches, which will be served with chips for lunch. I didn't see the chips come through, but I presume they're there. Paul, there's no waving. There's no waving. You can't wave on a camera like that. Yeah. Oh, you can do anything on his birthday, huh?
You get your Saturday.
Yeah, I get Saturday. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
my family, that's about it.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Paul has 6 sets of twins.
No,
No, 3 sets of twins. 3 sets of twins.
She's talking to the family as they're wishing me happy birthday, so they're all wishing
I bet.
her happy.
A happy, yeah, wish him happy, yeah, we're off and running.
Once removed. It's happy birthday once removed.
That's right. Happy birthday once removed. I like the way you said that.
Everybody, some feedback from me. This is good. Relax. Big letters. Excellent. In the bullet part, I've seen
Is it on?
some of this.
Yeah.
You know, this is hard. And you read it together. Okay? Here. The good thing is, I don't know who wrote it. Then I can say, okay, you. Now, the owner of this.
Thank you, Rose.
Even that person, if I ask that person will say, yes, yes, it's correct. Yeah? He's wrong with it. Okay? Then that is that. He is reading the right in the ruler part and a little bit bigger. Okay? Then I'm gonna read it at the end. It's not needed to put the name. Just I can put that up here in the speaker.
Instead of green.
Oh.
Should I have green?
Nope. Color. He always said colored. Yeah, I want you to remember, in today's society, Miguel did use the term colored when he was talking about his index cards. So, I know I'm pushing the limit on you here, but they weren't green, they weren't orange, they were colored. So we did not differentiate. There's colored and there's white. And I don't think I said that right either, did I? I think I'll stop talking now. Oh, you ready? Oh, yeah, we need to have a discussion about me. That's right. Okay, next up is one of your favorite presenters. Get ready to face your fears with our next speaker, Linda Bruns. Linda is your chief inspirer today, speaking with an excerpt of her upcoming book. Her chapter on time to cross the rapids will help you start facing those pebbles and boulders that keep you from achieving your goals. Ladies and gentlemen, Linda Bruns.
Thank you, thank you. How many of you have ever gone on a hike, and you've gone on your hike, and all of a sudden, there's a stream of rapids? What do? Some people will go right to the edge, shake their head no, go lay out their pretty blanket, have their picnic, and go turn back around and go home. Others will go right across. The thing is that what's on the other side of the rapids is where we need to go, right? Because that's our destination. So what do? Do you go across the rapids? What holds us back from going across the rapids? We come across many rapids in our lives. Sometimes when we're 3, sometimes when we're 53, right? Fear is what keeps us from crossing those rapids and having our pretty little picnic, right? So, what is fear? Well, we're going to get to that in a minute. What we're here to do today is help build up your courage so you can face those fears and cross those rapids. The definition of courage is to attempt to do something even though you have the fear. That is what being courageous is all about. So today we're going to talk about that. Have you ever wanted to do something and you stopped yourself and you just didn't know what to do? Well, sorry. I'm going to tell you my story. I had fear. I live with fear every day. And The fact that you all are here today tells me that you have a rapid that you want to cross. We all have a rapid that we want to overcome. Today, I want to overcome this. And we have to take baby steps. So let's talk about what those baby steps are. There are times that we want to dive right in, and there are times that we need to take those baby steps. Back in 2012, I started a business. I was so gung-ho on starting that business. I got my trademark, I got my logo, I had a full-time job. Everything was going crazy because I was traveling all over the country. And so things just started going by the wayside. Was my dream not big enough? Yes. The fear, when the fear is larger than your desire, that's when you have your pretty little blanket picnic. Well, are we all here to have a pretty little picnic? Or are we on to get on with our lives and cross those rapids and get to the other side? How many want to get to the other side? Yes, we want to get to the other side. That's the whole, like Harish was saying, are we just surviving or are we living? Harish, it was beautiful because when we live our life with passion, we are happy, right? There's a difference between being happy and living than just surviving. I mean, there are times I know, and I don't know if you've ever been through this, but I would lie in bed awake at night and want to wake up with a different life. Has anybody ever had that feeling? Yeah, we've all been there. The thing is we're all in this together. We're all in it together, all right? But then you wake up the next morning, and guess what? Nothing's freaking changed. Do you know why? Does anybody know why nothing changed? I'm sorry? Your mindset, yes. Well, that's one thing, but really, the real reason is because we haven't changed anything that we were doing. Have you ever heard the definition of insanity? Who knows what the definition of insanity is? Harish knows it. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting something different, expecting different results, right? Okay, well, that's not going to work. If we want to get across those rapids, we can't have the picnic too and never go across, right? So you're going to have to make some changes. We're going to have to make some changes. I'm going to have to make some changes. I don't know why I waited. Why do you wait? Why are you waiting now? The good thing is that you've taken this step to get on with your speaking career. And I think we should all applaud ourselves right now. Because you are taking that next step to get to where you want to be. And not come up here and freeze like I just did. Because that's no fun for everybody. I was not ready to walk off the stage. But guess what? I didn't. Guess what? I had courage for a minute. But we all come to those things in our life that halt us. So I am going to ask you, when that happens, ask yourself a question. What am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? Let's talk about fear for a second. There's many acronyms for fear. FEAR. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Your flight or your fight. Your flight or your fight. Which one are you going to do? Forget everything and run, face everything and rise. There's another acronym for fear. False evidence appearing real. Do you understand what that is saying? False evidence appearing real. And that's exactly what fear is, because if you're not doing something, you're never going to realize that the fear was fake. It's fake. Because all the things that you were afraid of were never really going to happen anyway, right? But I wasn't going to die when I got up here on stage. I thought I was going to die, but I'm not going to die. You just keep on going. Be courageous. Take that next step. You have the choice of which acronym you're going to live by. You have the choice. Freedom, right? We have the freedom to live our passion, to live our vision. Now, I'm going to pick up this only because there's a quote I want to read. After I tell you a story. Thanks to my Uncle Larry, God rest his soul, I love you, Uncle Larry, I'm living a life with no regrets. How many of you would like to live a life with no regrets? So Uncle Larry was pretty special. He had a very inspirational life, but the inspiration I received from Uncle Larry started when I was younger. Probably my teenage years. I think it started filling my ears into young adulthood. And the inspiration came this way. He said, Linda Sue, your only regret in life is to not live up to your full potential. Your only regret in life is to not live up to your full potential. Now, he wanted me to go into economics. I said, Uncle Larry, you don't know this brain. But guess what? It resonated with me my entire life. I never wanted to live my life without realizing my full potential. That is what got my first toe into those pebbles, and then to the next rock. So, are you living your life to its fullest potential? Okay, so Linda, not me, one of my best friends, I've known her since I was 15. We were best friends since then. We still are. She calls herself Linda number 2. She sent me a poem by Goethe, and I'm going to just read an excerpt. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamt would have come his way. Now, why that means so much to me is I had explained to Linda that once I made my commitment to start my business, that these doors and windows were opening, and there were doors and windows opening that I hadn't even thought of, that I haven't even dreamt of opening, that I didn't even know they were there. And here they were. That's because once you make that commitment, things start happening. They just start aligning. But if you don't have that dream, that passion, that clarity, do this. Get the clarity. Do this. I want you to do this right now. Do this. I want you to get that clarity of what you want in your life, because when you have it, the doors and the windows will start opening. Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions. You can write them down, too. Write the answers down if you want. But the first question I can't find it. So I'm going to just tell you what they are. The first question is this. What is it that you want to do and accomplish, but fear is holding you back? You can just think about it. What is it that you want to do, but fear is holding you back? I don't care if it's talking to a loved one about something that's uncomfortable, or it's starting a new speaking career. What is that fear? Number 2, not what the fear is, what is it that you want to accomplish? Number 2 is, what is that fear? What is that fear? Number 3, do you have an accountability partner? Do you have an accountability partner? Somebody that you can share the fear with, and someone you can share the goal with. And who is that accountability partner? And when are you willing to share this information with them? Is it tonight on the way home because you can't wait to get started on crossing those rapids and getting to that goal? Or is it going to be next week when you've had time to mull it over and talk yourself out of it? What is it going to be? If you don't have an accountability partner, I volunteer my time to you to be your accountability partner. That's how important it is for me to help you reach that goal. You see, it could be as simple as buying that lime green shag rug that you've always dreamed of. It might be that simple, because it doesn't matter how simple or how profound that dream is. I'll tell you a really quick story. Back when I was living paycheck to paycheck, I found this gorgeous, wooden, beautiful dining room table, round. And I always dreamed of having a round dining room table so everybody can sit around the table and see each other. I couldn't afford it. But I figured out a way to get it. I still have that dining room table to remind me of the goals and the achievement of just those little things. What's your lime green shag rug carpet? What is it? Go over the rapids.
Okay. Wow. How many of you have faced that kind of fear? Stage fear? You forgot what you had? You're like, would you want to run off the stage? Yeah. That's what most of us want to do. Paul had a good idea the other day. He said, if you run into a challenge on stage and you forget something, just ask the audience questions. All right? So there's a good helpful hint. If she'd have just asked questions, how many of you have done this? How many of you have done that? And gone over and picked up her notes, she could have come right back to where she was, right? But again, that comes with experience. You will find that Paul, myself, Darren, Brooke, I think Brooke's around here, Brooke's back there, Phil, we can all speak extemporaneously on almost any topic because we have so much experience behind us. You know, I've got 40 years of speaking on stages where people would say, hey, this is what's going to happen, and it didn't happen, so you had to kind of make up something on the fly sometimes. And it felt better because you knew what you were doing. I know Paul's been there several times. I know Darren's been there over the years. I'm sure Brooke has been there, and so has Phil. It's one of those things where once you have experienced, and how do you get experience? How? Just keep talking. Every opportunity you get in front of a group, talk. Every opportunity. It's interesting to me, we've got things, what's the Clubhouse, right? You got Clubhouse, you got Facebook, you got summits. Anybody here been on one of those? I was just asked to be on a summit a couple months ago, and they said, hey, we're going to pre-record. And I went, great, that's great. And they did this thing, and then they put my thing out, and I got an invitation that just said, hey, you gave away something on this summit, and I want to take advantage of it. I went, oh, I didn't even know the summit was going on. 70 speakers on their summit. Now, no offense meant, you're always better off doing your own webinars. Always do your own webinars. rather than get on a 70-person summit, rather than get on a 20-person summit. Because what are the odds of somebody finding you in a 20-person summit? I was just talking with Phil the other day. One of our friends is on a 20-person summit, and it happens in one day. If you've got 20 speakers in one day, we're going to try and squeeze in 12 here today. And you can see that it's going to be tight, okay? And that's important that you understand that it's tight to get on this stuff. So imagine 20 speakers who supposedly have something to tell you. Can you tell it in 15, 20 minutes? Probably not. Probably take you that hour. So you're better off doing a webinar. If you're looking for just exposure and you just want your picture up on there, make your own. There's lots of us who can help you make that little poster that will help you be seen as the expert. Look at all the different ones that go across Facebook. But if you get a chance on Clubhouse, be one of the speakers. Don't sit back and, I got a friend, Joe Apfelbaum from New York City. He says, don't be a lurker, right? Don't be a lurker, be a participant. And that means every chance you get, you comment on somebody's. If you see somebody post something about SpeakerTalks here today, right, comment on it, share it. If you see somebody saying, hey, I was just on this event, I just did this, comment on their picture or post and then share it. If you see Paul put something out, hey, I was just going to the airport, right, when this happened to me, I want you to say, oh, wow, I can't imagine you had that happen to you, and then share the post and say, if you guys don't know Paul Fink, he's a phenomenal speaker. I met him at SpeakerTalks, right? And he had a good story to share. That exposes Paul more. How many people here want more exposure? How do you get more exposure? Well, yep, it's really by sharing more of other people's stuff. If you tag me, right, all the time, so if you go, hey, Steve posted 12 times today, you don't have to share all 12. Share one or two of them. And then say, hey, make sure you put my name in there, make sure you put me on the tag, and guess what I'm going to do? When I see you've shared 2 or 3 of my things, the next time I see yours come up, am I going to share it? I promise you that. Do you know how many people share our material, really share our material on a regular basis? It's this big. The people who share with us, we get to know, we get to like, we get to trust, and we want to interact with them because you're supporting me, I want to support you. I'm reading a book right now called The Linchpin. If you haven't gotten it, I highly recommend that you get it. It says all kinds of wonderful stuff, but basically one of the things I just went through yesterday morning, I think it was how important it is for us to get back to helping each other for free if we can. For free. I tell people all the time, you can reach out to me, I'll give you 20, 30 minutes of my time for free, and then after that, I will charge you, okay? Because that's the way it should be. And when I need help, Brooke has helped me many times for free. I want to help Brooke for free. That's why she comes in. We want to do these things to help each other. The more exposure I can get for Brooke, the more exposure Brooke gives for me. And you only do that for the people you trust, right? Because if I got somebody over here who says, well, I want to do this, I tell people all the time, I've had people over the last 2 years, especially with SpeakerTalks, who said, I'll do this with you, and then disappear when the rubber hits the road, gone. So I learned to trust people, and I support those people. How about you? Yes. Okay, I'm going to go back and get my next introduction. Oh, more sheets. Kristen, you got more sheets for them? We'll get those sheets put out. Get those people out of the camera. You ready to rock and roll? All right, a good friend of mine, Tim Sparks, is the founding CEO of Blue Ridge HR and a senior certified human resources professional. He's a keynote speaker, a corporate trainer, and personal leadership coach, and he's been featured for the industry and the professional conferences across the southeastern United States. Today, Tim is going to share with us the most important thing. Welcome, Tim.
Test one. Oh, there we go.
What is everybody going to do? They're like, oh, it's like, as loud as my voice will project, hey, stop, right? Everybody just settle down, be quiet, the power's off, it'll come back on. In the meantime, now, if I'd have been working a PowerPoint, would I be lost? Maybe, maybe,
Know your material.
okay?
Know and always be prepared that the power will go off. It will. It's going to happen. You're a professional speaker. It's an absolute. At one point in your career, it will happen, if not multiple.
That's right.
So be prepared and know what story you would go with or where you would go with the rest.
And that's what you have to do. You have to be able to pick it up, and that's what I did. I just said, hey, everybody settle in. We'll finish this in the dark. If you need the notes, I'll send you the PowerPoint stuff. Now, I don't usually use PowerPoint, just so you know. But if I had any, I was, in that case, it was like, I'll finish up. I'll give you the notes that you need later on if you decide there's anything worthwhile taking home with you. And for another 20 minutes, I talked in the dark. Now, I didn't move around the stage very much. But I talked in the dark for 20 minutes before the power came back up. And you had to talk at your best volume. So if you're quiet, and I know some of you have quiet voices, take a voice teacher and have them teach you how to project, because that will become vital at some point in time. Okay, we're going to get back. Go ahead, Paul. You got something else?
Yeah, I would just comment on when that happens. Sometimes people say, well, what's the purpose of keeping moving forward? Two things. If you're a team speaker, there are people in the room that need to see you there, or the corporation needs you to be there. You need to still deliver regardless of the circumstance, or refund money. Who here would like that second option? Deliver. Be prepared to deliver at all costs. Two, when you're a free speaker and you're marketing or selling, at the end of your presentation, you're talking about a key moment when the lights would go out. You want to keep moving to be able to make the most out of it, otherwise you will be walking home without anything to show for it. So in both cases, the purpose of moving forward is to create the result that you're looking for.
Good advice, good advice. All right, here we are, and we're ready again. I want you, Tim Sparks is a friend of mine. Tim is the founding CEO of Blue Ridge HR and a senior certified human resources professional. He's a keynote speaker, a corporate trainer, and personal leadership coach, and he's been featured, right, for the industry and speaking conferences across the southeastern United States. Today, Tim is going to share with us the most important thing. Please welcome Tim Sparks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Great to be here. The most important thing. Are you intrigued? Yes? Me too. I can't wait to hear what I'm going to say. It's going to be awesome. So if we were talking about the most important thing in life, we would talk about things like love or family, God, happiness. But quite frankly, I don't think I'm qualified to tell you what the most important thing in life is. I can tell you what it is for me, but I can't tell you what it is for you. So today, we're talking about the most important thing for your business. As CEOs, as business leaders, as entrepreneurs, as HR professionals here today, if I were to ask you, what's the one thing, what is that one key foundational principle that your success, the success of your business hinges upon, what would you say? Now, don't say anything out loud. Just think about that for a second. Okay, time's up. If you said culture, you would be 100% correct. If you said something different, then it's probably a good thing you're here today. Okay? So what is corporate culture and why is it so important? So let me give you a textbook definition. Company culture or corporate culture is the values, ideals, attitudes, and goals that characterize any organization. All right, let me say that one more time. It is the values, ideals, attitudes, and goals that characterize your organization. Someone put it a little more succinctly. They said, corporate culture is the way we do things around here. Okay? So that's a little more easily understood. It's the way your people act and behave on a daily basis, regardless of what's in your policy manual, what's in your employee handbook, and what's engraved on a plaque in your lobby. Okay? Corporate culture is how your people act every day, regardless of all of that. And let me illustrate that by the tale of two companies. Okay? You've got Company A, and you've got Company B. Company A is a manufacturing company, a global manufacturing company that does $20 billion a year in sales. Company B was an energy company, notice I said was, right? Was an energy company that provided energy services for the west coast of the US. Company A, their core values were integrity, respect, accountability, and excellence. Company B, integrity, respect, communication, and excellence. Almost identical, right? 3 out of the 4 were exactly the same, and both sets of core values were great values, right? Except for Company A, a company by the name of WestRock, has been on the Forbes list of most admired companies every year since their inception. They're highly respected, highly sought after, highly integrity, all of that. Company B was Enron. Does that name ring a bell? It should. Enron was a company that was probably embroiled in one of the biggest controversies of the 20th century. They were a horrible company run by horrible people. Integrity, forget it. They lied about their books. They had they falsified their accounting practices to make it look like they were creating a profit, right? And they did that so that investors would come and invest their money in that company, and investors lost to the tune of billions of dollars. They were a terrible company, and I could go on and on. Okay? Company A, WestRock, they lived their values. Their values were their guiding principles, and even today they continue to live those values. Company B, they don't even exist anymore because they didn't live their values. And you see, culture is a big part of that. I believe culture drives everything else we do as an organization. Culture is the most important thing that will either create success for your organization or cause you to end up like Enron and cease to exist. Culture is so important that Peter Drucker famously said, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast." Right? Remember that? What did he mean? I believe he meant you can have the best strategy in the world. You can have the smartest people on the planet creating strategy for you. But if you don't have the right people and the right culture driving that strategy, it's just words on a piece of paper. You see, culture, when done right, is all about unification. Culture brings people together under a common goal and a common purpose, and that's what we need. Culture is so critical, and culture drives, really, like I said, everything else we do in business, but culture drives many important things. First of all, culture drives employee engagement, right? Culture drives your employee engagement. Why is employee engagement so important? Well, the Corporate Executive Board about 9 years ago did a study, and they found that for every 1% decrease in employee engagement in your company costs you $6.5 million for every $1 billion of revenue that you do. So you don't have to be a rocket science or a financial genius to figure out that that's a lot of money, right? Take that company A, WestRock, they're a $20 billion a year organization. A 1% decrease in employee engagement would cost them $130 million right off their bottom line. That's a lot of money. So it drives things like engagement. Another survey, another study said that companies that have a great high energy or high culture, a good culture in their organization, have employee engagement scores that are 72% higher than those that don't. So right now you should be thinking dollar signs. That's a lot of money. 72% higher employee engagement for for the companies that have a great culture. And Gallup does a really interesting survey every year. It's called State of the American Workforce. And it's all revolved around employee engagement. And what they found for over a decade now is that American companies have an engagement score of about 30%. In other words, only about 3 in 10 of your employees are engaged in what you're doing. That means 7 out of 10 are either disengaged or they're actively disengaged. If they're disengaged, that means they're just coming to work, they're punching the time clock, they're doing their thing, doing the least amount of work possible, just enough to fly under the radar and not get in trouble, but not any more than that, and they're really adding nothing to your organization. If they're actively disengaged, that means they're actively trying to sabotage your organization. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You hire a new employee. Things seem to be going great, they're doing well, and then all of a sudden, a day later, a week later, a month later, poof, they're gone. What happened to them? Well, come to find out that somebody in your organization cornered them in the break room and said, you know what, you're going to hate working here. It's a terrible organization. They're going to treat you like a rented mule. You're never going to get a promotion. You're never going to get a raise. It's just terrible. The work conditions are terrible. Your bosses don't care about you. Sound familiar? It happens more times than you would think. Those are your actively disengaged people. Culture, if you have a great company culture, culture will take care of those issues. Culture will drive your employee engagement so that you have an engaged workforce that's actually adding to the bottom line of your organization. Culture also drives things like recruitment and retention. How many of you have tried to hire somebody this year? Yeah, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? You know, it used to be that trying to find top talent was a real challenge. Now, trying to find anybody that has a pulse is a real challenge, right? It's hard to hire people. Nobody wants to work. And if your if your culture is not a high culture, it's not a great culture, you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball in recruitment. Because if those few that do want to work are going out into the workforce to look for a job, they're going to seek out those companies that have a great reputation. They're going to seek out those companies that have a great culture, and it's going to be much more easily, they're going to be much more easily retained. And then thirdly, culture drives your company's brand. It drives your company's brand. Your brand is how the rest of the world sees your company. Okay? And again, your brand is critical to a lot of different things, but culture drives your brand. So, how do you as leaders, how do you as entrepreneurs, how do you impact, how do you help shape your culture and your organization? Well, just a couple of quick things. Number one, lead by example. And that sounds so cliche and it sounds so, I've heard this before kind of thing, but it's so critical that you lead your organization by example. So for example, if you want a culture, a high-performing culture in your organization, then you need to reward people that are high-performing individuals and not, have this participation trophy kind of mentality that we seem to be stuck in today. You need to reward the people that are doing the work that you want them to do. And number two, you need to be willing to hold people accountable. You see, so many times I've heard CEOs say things like, in having conversations with business leaders and CEOs, they'll talk about their people, and they'll say, yeah, Steve over there, Steve's our best salesman, he does great, but he's really kind of a jerk. No offense, Steve. Right? Have you heard people talk about their employees like that? Steve's a great performer. He's our top salesman, but he's really kind of a jerk. Everybody hates him. You know, nobody likes him. So we just kind of put up with his shenanigans because he's a good salesperson. And inside, I'm screaming, no, don't put up with that. Because I don't care how good of a salesperson Steve is. If Steve is the jerk that you think he is, he's costing you far more off your bottom line than he's producing in sales. I guarantee it. You need to be holding people accountable. I was reading an article the other day in Harvard Business Review, and I came across a quote that's just perfect. The author said, "The culture in your organization is shaped by the worst behavior the leader is willing to tolerate." Isn't that good? It's shaped by the worst behavior that the leader is willing to tolerate. And if you're willing to tolerate your top salesman being a jerk and being hated by everybody, then you get exactly what you deserve. If you're willing to hold people accountable, and you know, we're in this kind of day and age where we talk about being compassionate. You know, well, I don't want to fire anybody because the job market's hard, and I just don't want to, you know, have to look somebody in the eye and say, you know, you don't have a job anymore. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is cut people loose. I lovingly refer to it as promote them to customer, right? Because if they're not happy, if they don't fit your company culture, they're miserable. And you're not doing them any favors by keeping them in your organization. You're not doing yourself any favors, for sure, and you're not doing them any favors either. If you let them move on, that gives them an opportunity to find the perfect culture that's a good fit for them. So you need to figure out what your culture, what you want your organizational culture to be. So as we close, I want you to think of your organization. Think of your organization and think about the perfect culture. If you could have the culture be anything you want it to be, what would that perfect culture be? And then answer 2 questions. Number 1, are we there? Is my company there? And if you can answer yes to that question, bravo, that's great. But if you can't, if you have to say no to that question, then you've got some work to do. The second question is, what are you as the leader willing to do to get your company where it needs to be? You have to make that decision. The most important thing in your organization is your company culture. I'm Tim Sparks. Thank you very much.
Well, we've had a couple of great people so far. What do you think? Woohoo! Yeah. I thought a couple things there when he says basically your culture. Don't let somebody ruin your company, right? I want you to remember, while you might be an entrepreneur, while you might be just starting your organization, or you might be already involved in an organization, and the reason you're here is to help build that organization, remember, everything you post comes about that organization, right? I want you all to post stuff about SpeakerTalks that says, wow, we've had some great speakers here today. You should come to the next one, right? And then tag it like SpeakerTalks, you know, hashtag SpeakerTalks. You could put hashtag SpeakerTalks Tampa, because I would like nothing more than, of course, to expand this to 2 or 3 other cities. We would love to be able to do that. But let's start right here. Let's make this the event to attend. So if you guys will help me, and every time you think about it, today, right, and tomorrow while you travel home, say, hey, I'm returning home. Here's a picture of me at the airport. I was attending hashtag SpeakerTalks. That's what we want, and that's what we want to do for you. So if you see another one of your co-speakers, if you see another one of your people who are supporting the event, who are attending the event, right, make sure that you support them and repost their tag. So if they say, hey, I was not a speaker at SpeakerTalks, I went and I really enjoyed it, you might want to ask them, what do they do? So if they were attending here today, first of all, you should get to know everybody attending here today. But you should ask them, what do they do? And if they say, oh, I'm in photography, Let's use Tom as a, I'm in photography. Wow. So if you guys know that Tom of, Tom, what's the name of your company? It's Photos at Your Place. Photos at Your Place. We bring the studio to you. See? If you haven't, so when you see Tom post something, you say, wow, Tom was an amazing photographer today. I can't wait for you all to see all of his photos of our event or this event, okay? I'm going to come down here a second. One of the things Tom has done, I love this picture. I don't know if you can see it real well from there. I love that picture. Guess when he took it? He took it yesterday, and he got it framed and ready. If you guys haven't talked to Tom about your picture, please make sure you get it taken, because that's a great picture. I'm going to be starting using that one as soon as I can upload it or put it wherever I need to put it. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We got 2 more speakers, okay, and then we're going to have some wild man speaking, talking about something about how to help your company in every aspect of your company. Darren Adams from Keep will be up at 11 o'clock. But here's what I want to impress upon you, is that starting at 12 o'clock, ballpark there, 12:05 something, we'll have sandwiches out there. It's going to be an abbreviated lunch. So go out, grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your sandwich and your chips. Do we have chips today? Okay. And then munch it down. Get to know somebody that you haven't met already. Sit with people. There was a table there yesterday. There were like 8 people crammed into this table yesterday. And you know what? Nobody invited me. I sat by myself and ate a sandwich. Well, I didn't sit by myself. I sat with Darren. But what I want you to know is nobody invited me to that table. Everybody pulled a chair up. They sat at that table. They got to know each other. Please, grab a chair, slide up next to the people sitting there having lunch. Get to know them. Find out what they do, how they do it, where they do it, and then start supporting them. Do you know you can pin people on both your LinkedIn and your Facebook? Take your top 10 or 20 people and pin them. So the next time they post something that pops up, you can support them better. Top 10 or 20 people. Might not be us here. Might be somebody else. But always support the best people you can support. Always say the great things you can say. It's easy to criticize. I do a lot of criticism. I do. A lot more than I should. Okay? And I mean a lot more than I should. Because I'm a real sarcastic, you know what? When Tim was saying, Steve might be that guy, I was like, hey, wait a minute. And you know what? Probably for most of my life, first half of my life anyway, I was that guy. If I was working in a company and I didn't like it, boy, I let people know. Now, that might be one of the reasons I never stayed at a company very long. I always thought it was my idea, but now that I think back, maybe it wasn't. What I want you to know is the more positive we can put into our world, the better off we're going to be, right? And every chance we get, a positive, no matter what it's going to be. Okay. We are ready for our next speaker. Oh, yep, go ahead.
Another tip. I saw a couple of situations here that this method can work. Step 1. Linda, you have the questions right in before, the number behind. Okay, exactly. This is easier than buying in quicker, right? And the forward goes off. If I have my get lines here, main words, main sentences, with the number behind,
Oh, there you are.
everything
There
is
you are.
gone. People that get stressed because people are looking at you.
Okay. Our next speaker. You ready? Anjan Kasisampat. Anji is a software engineer by profession that requires application of technical mind. While he has been brilliant at it over the past 15 years, he's equally adept at strategies of conquering the wavering mind using very ancient techniques he learned at school as a young academic topper. Please welcome Anjan Kasisampat.
Good morning, friends. How are you all doing? Good. I'm a software engineer and I'm Anjan. And how many of you here have this weird notion about software engineers? I don't know what these guys do. Sitting in their cubicle and coding and talking to the computer the whole day. They must be insane. Have you had that impression? Well, I too had that when I started. But here, I'm not going to give you a boring technical talk. I'm not here for that. I'm here to talk about something very basic but significant about our mind and senses. How many of you here have heard about cutthroat academic competition, intense academic competition? Any of you? I guess all of you. Now in India, where I was born and raised, this competition is so intense that every percent and every point you lose or gain, it's a matter of life and death. Students really work hard days and weeks together to prepare for the examination, and once they reach the examination and see the question paper, their eyes pop up. Fears creep up. Pen drops. Hope fades. Bad luck goes up, and then they give up. And some students are even smart. They tend to, in order to get through this, they tend to make shorter relationships. What I mean by that is not relationships between girlfriends and boyfriends, but it's between them and their books. Before the exam, they're tightly coupled. They are in deep commitment, made for each other. I love you. And after the exam, they break up. I don't know. Now, given such an intense academic environment, I topped for 9 consecutive years. And just before the semi-final of the 9th grade exam, something serious and tragic happened. My father, who ran a successful business empire, became bankrupt, owing to worsening market conditions. Now, in this country, bankruptcy may seem normal. But in India, 25 years ago, bankruptcy was a taboo. It was a cardinal sin. You couldn't do that. And my dad, after having declared that, things changed for us. Like a tsunami that wipes away a planned city, this event changed our lives drastically. The home in which I stayed was no longer mine. The car in which I traveled, making 1 million+ memories, was no longer mine. Just imagine a situation like that. And on top of that, so many of my friends and relatives deserted us as though we were untouchables. And to top it all, I did not know, and neither did my family, that we had enough money to take the next meal. So we had to eat less. Imagine, as a child, do you even understand what it means? In such a situation, these events had a deep impact on me. And when I gave my exam, instead of being on the top, I dropped to 40. And unable to understand what was exactly going on here, my mind now became like an antenna. You know an antenna? A device that picks up signals everywhere and thinks it's right. That's how my mind became. Some people said, oh, this is the price you pay for the sin your parents have done. And some would say, you're arrogant. And some would say, you are overconfident. But some would say, it's just a glitch. You've been doing so good, you will come across. My mind was now confused. Why should I even study? Why not work, earn some money, and help my family? Now, my mind was at perfect crossroads. I was stuck. I did not know what to do. Any of you come across such a crossroad situation in life? I'm sure we all have. Looking at my unease, my favorite teacher looked at me and said, I will teach you strategies to conquer your mind, because once you know your mind, you will know where to go. And so I'm here to discuss one such strategy that I applied, saw its result, and I'm here to share with you all. Are you all interested? Yes. Wonderful. So the name of this strategy is called Retreat from the Senses. How many of you here have seen a tortoise? I guess all of you, right? Have you seen a tortoise when it pushes its limbs inside, like it pushes its legs and inside? Do you know or have you wondered why it does that, or when it does that? It does it when it senses it's under attack. When it thinks some enemy is trying to attack it, it pushes its limbs together so that the enemy thinks it's not an animal at all. That's the exact analogy and strategy that's applicable here, and this was established 3,000 years ago in India. You see, we all have senses: eyes, ears, nose, sense of our tongue that gives us taste, and a sense of touch. All these sense organs are so powerful. We all agree that, correct? They constantly help us drive our emotions, our decisions, and actions. Every day, as we hear something interesting, as we see something interesting, we are getting attracted to that. And that's all normal, because that's how we become incredible human beings, by using our senses. We all are incredible human beings. But these same senses that swing us into action can also swing us into a wrong direction. And without knowing, you will end up at crossroads and get stuck. Why does this happen? It's because our mind is constantly getting inputs from the senses, and the mind is acting on that. Now, in the Western world, mind means brain. But in the Eastern world, mind means energy that's inside your whole body, the complete energy that uses brain as the medium and drives you forward. So constantly, our senses are feeding our mind, and we are doing exactly what our senses are saying. But at some point, it will so happen that these senses will dominate our mind to that extent that we will lose our ability to think correctly. So what do we do at that time? That's when one of the best strategies to use is this retreat from the senses. What this means is a special meditation technique in which you begin to silence your senses. Basically, you sit down, quiet, forgetting all the sensory information, things that you've been hearing, listening, talking. Just keep them all silent. When you do that, your energy within you gets into focus. You are no longer distracted. As I began to practice this every day, I began to feel lighter. You know, sometimes when you take protein powder and you go to the gym each day, you can lift heavy weights, 50 pounds, 100 pounds. This technique almost became my protein powder, because every day I began to feel light. I began to look at people's judgments and their opinions with a different perspective. All the confusion that I had now became clarity, because now I knew what I wanted to do. I decided I'm going to go forward in the path of academics. And so I did, and with great focus, I gave the exams, and I bounced back to number one again, and also several grades later. The purpose of sharing this story is not to showcase my success, but to drive home a key point. The most dangerous battles in our life are fought in the mind. It is the senses that have a greater role to play to say, I'll make this battle dangerous for you or less dangerous. It's very important that we train our mind to activate itself so that we prevent ourselves from getting into those crossroads. It needs constant practice. End of the day, we have to realize that we have great friends in our life, correct? What do great friends do? What do great friends do? Help each other. Whether you are on top of a cliff or bottom of an ocean, your best friend is always there for you. You can count on them because their advice, their opinion works. What if you make your mind your best friend? And that's the technique we need to know about. Because the moment we train our minds to be our best friends, no matter where we are, no matter what circumstance we are, we will evolve. We will come out of that. And that's what we all need. Senses and emotions make us intelligent human beings. We are intelligent, no doubt. But when we conquer our mind, we begin to become influential human beings. And that's what this world needs. Which one would you want to be? Thank you.
Anjan, what's the title of your?
Retreat from the senses.
Retreat from the senses. Retreat from the senses. How many people here have enjoyed themselves so far? Woo-hoo. Okay, here's what I'm going to want from the speakers in the morning. When we break for lunch, which won't be till 12, I'm going to want the speakers from this morning to come up here and get on stage one at a time, and we're going to share with how you felt speaking at SpeakerTalks. The afternoon speakers will do the same thing when they're done this afternoon. Okay. What? Okay, everybody ready? Anybody need a card? Miguel's passing out or collecting cards, I guess? Oh, coaches are still turning theirs in. They need new sheets. New sheets. She's right, where'd she go? She's right back there. Joe? Joanne, there she is, right there. Okay, judges set. Cards out, Miguel? Nope, he's still finishing up over there. Come on, sing it with me. Nobody knows that song but me? Yeah, Anybody else need a card? She has something to turn in? Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Everybody got theirs turned in? Cool. Oh, there's some music. Yeah, oh, it is appropriate. Appropriate for our next speaker. Go ahead and let it run for a little bit. It's cool, right? Put the world in a love embrace, right? Woo! Okay, for our next speaker, she's absolutely one who says, choose your own adventure. Kristen Sapato is proud to be a lifelong learner and hopes to share the blessings of a life filled with learning and discovery. She has been in the training industry for over 10 years, and while she has plenty of stories she could tell, today is all about your story. Please welcome Kristen Sapato.
See, I don't know about this outfit. I got to start my own timer. There we go. And I wasn't sure if the mic was going to be hot. I was all prepared to come up here and say, and I'm Kristen Sapato, checking to see if my mic works. See, I do listen. Oh, welcome, everybody. Really glad to be here with you guys today. It's been a wonderful couple of days. As Steve mentioned, yes, I've been in the training industry in various ways and means for approximately 10, 11 years. And because of that, consider myself a lifelong learner. And I love that I get to do this topic in this particular situation because everybody I'm looking at are lifelong learners, or you wouldn't be here, right? So one of the things that I thought as I was trying to figure out what to say to you guys, and we're talking about being a lifelong learner, is amazing to me, and we don't even realize that we're learning every day. And so when I think back to one of the things that started when I was a child, that was my favorite, we were on road trips a lot, back then I could read and not get carsick, is the Choose Your Own Adventure books. Do you guys remember those? Anybody? Oh, wonderful. So, and the things that are so great about those books, in case you haven't had the fun of them as a child or even as an adult, I think adult versions would be really fun. They start you off with a story. They get you to a certain point, and then they give you a couple of options. And depending on the option that you choose, that takes you to a different part in the book. And some options, I say in the adult version, you could die. In others, maybe you're just going to take a different route. So I was going to kind of follow that same pattern as we talk about how the choices we make lead to the things that we learn as adults, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to start with a situation that I imagine just about everybody in this room has experienced at one time or another. Does that sound good? All right. They work better right side up. Okay, so I'll set the stage. So we are newly graduated from college, let's say, and we've secured that first job. It is now the first day. Does everybody remember the excitement, the apprehension, the nervousness of that first day on a real job, right? Not our part-time working for our parents, that kind of thing, but this is the real world, the real job. So we're excited. Million things running through our mind. One of the first choices that we need to make before that first day is, what are we going to wear? Right? Easy one. Do you guys remember? Even now, first day on a new job, not even my first one, I still wonder, am I going to be dressed appropriately? All right, so we're reading our book. Here's our choice. We can choose a suit. We can be business casual, or we're going to go, laid back, maybe more jeans and a button-down kind of shirt, right? So those are our choices. Suit, casual, or button-down and jeans. So who wants to share with me which one they'd choose? Suit? Okay. How come? Yep, absolutely. I'm a big believer in overdressing rather than underdressing. But yeah, absolutely. So if you think back to that first job, and that was your choice, and then maybe when you got to that job and you realize, oh my gosh, these people are wearing tank tops and flip-flops. Boy, did I not do my homework, right? So all of those types of choices, they're going to teach us lessons, right? So maybe hopefully we're with an organization that understands and doesn't really care what anybody wears, and then we're good to go. But if it makes you uncomfortable when you get there because you weren't prepared or didn't do your research, you've learned a lesson, right? Maybe the next time it comes around, you're going to do a little bit more research and figure out what will help you feel more comfortable because you blend in, right? Sometimes that's what we want to do. All right. Excellent. So let's try another one. We're all dressed for the day, and now we're ready to head to work. So depending on what kind of person you are, you might leave early enough so that you're going to get there 15 minutes early. You might leave early enough so that you arrive just on time. Or you're just going to leave whenever you get ready to it because, they're wearing tank tops and flip-flops, so they probably don't really care what time you get there. All right? So who wants to share with me what choice they'd make? The first one? Okay, excellent. So you're going to leave early enough to arrive 15 minutes early. Right? Okay, and why would you choose that? Yes, one of my favorite sayings, and I've tried to pound that into my kids' heads as well. Early is on time is late. Yes, I'm a big believer in that as well. Do you have any idea why? Did you choose that on your very first job? Your own boss. I hate you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm jealous. I am jealous, actually. And I know myself, I'm that way. I'd always rather be early. I spend too much time in airports just because I don't want to I'd rather be sitting around waiting, but knowing I can get there to that plane on time. And you guys do that as well for all of our frequent travelers out there? Excellent. This one in particular was impactful to me because that's a decision that could have a ton of ramifications down the road for you on that job, right? Can ruin your first impression if you're late. And just not set the right tone. And I think it only takes making that wrong decision once before we choose a different choice to have a better outcome, right? So again, lifelong learning when we may not have even realized it. Okay, so now we're at work, we're all settled in, and we got our nice little cubicle, and we're trying to remember, okay, so there's nobody here. What do I do? Where am I supposed to go? What do I do? So our choices in this case are going to be, we're going to kind of maybe just peek around, see if we can find a fellow coworker in a nearby cubicle and say, hey, any ideas what maybe I should do? Do you think any of you guys would do that one? Maybe, okay. How about we maybe just wander around till we find our manager. We think we remember what they look like from the Zoom interview that we had, right? There's an option also. And maybe you just throw your hands up and say, yeah, I think I made a bad choice because this place is not for me because I can't find anybody and I don't know what to do. So any of you guys had any of those options before that you want to share? Yeah. How about you, Tim? Oh, nice. Did you learn anything from that by chance? Absolutely. You know, a lot of times we forget that first impressions go both ways, right? Especially when we only interview with 1 or 2 people, but we work with 20, right? Those impressions are going to go in both directions. All right, so let's see. All righty. And one of the things that I think, and I have a couple more of these that I could do as well, but one of the thoughts that always comes to my mind as you go through these, and being an instructional designer and a trainer for as many years as I've been, when I talk about things being two-sided by way of first impressions, the same is so true for whoops, where was I going with that? I hate it when that happens, because that was an off the top of my head comment, not on my notes. Darn. Okay, well then I'm gonna go back to my story. So let's get this one more. Kind of not associated with our job, but you guys all do social media, right? From the talk, I've heard lots of social media going on here. So we're scrolling through, and we see a post that kind of gives us a moment pause, right? And so we stop and think, well, you know, it could be good, could be bad. Maybe it's just something, hey, I've never thought of it that way. Maybe I want to do a little bit more research. So have any of you guys had those posts? I know some of them I'm like, why would you put that picture on Facebook? Anyway, okay, so when you see those types of things, do you tend to keep scrolling? Do you go ahead and click the link to find out more information? Or do you just kind of grab that topic and maybe go do research on your own? Anybody want to take a stab? I'm going to pick on Paul. Research? Okay, and why is that? Just curious. Okay, yep, I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Especially today's social media, it's hard to find our source of truth, right? And again, that's an opportunity for lifelong learning, right? Again, just another example how those things can lead us in different directions. We go one place with one thing, and you're like, you know what? That was really not what I was thinking. You know, so again, I remembered my other thought. Haha, there we go. So one thing that we always, and I encourage you all, and again, love that you guys are all here and learning more, is that you want to be able to go into your events with an open mind, right? Trainers can only be so effective, are only effective to the degree that the students are willing to receive the information. You guys have to be involved and take accountability for your own education. Even in the choices that we made in the little example story led us to learn different things. Different actions would have had different consequences, but you guys are ultimately responsible for those decisions. What kind of open mind are you going into those opportunities? also decides kind of what you take away from them as well. So I know I'm a little short on time, short on time, not long on time, but we'll take it. Thank you guys and appreciate your attention. And I am Kristen Sapato, and thank you very much.
Choose your own adventure. Choose your own adventure. I'm choosing to go up on stage and have an adventure. We've got, 5 people this afternoon who will choose their own adventure this afternoon. The one thing I do like about Speaker Talks is that we give people the opportunity to choose whether they want to be in front of people. That's what it's all about. If you just wanted to speak at the local PTA, you can take any kind of small courses, public speaking. I taught public speaking at college level for 7 years. And I taught people how to get over their fear of stage fright. And I taught people how to be able to speak in front of small groups. So you could take that college course. I don't know what they charge for college, but it was a 3 college credit. So $600 per hour, $1,800 bucks, right? I offer the same kind of thing that's called a beginning of public speaking course for $1,500. So you can take those kind of courses to get past your fear of public speaking. The reason most of us are here today, the reason why we want to encourage people is there's 2 reasons. One, I really want to be better at speaking in front of larger groups, right? Doesn't have to be a major event, just larger groups. I want to be able to be seen and visible at my office because nobody seems to notice me. Have you noticed that people who can speak are more visible at the office? They're asked to do more things. They're given more promotions. So that's what you might want to be doing here at Speaker Talks. The other part, of course, is becoming a professional speaker. If you want to become that professional speaker, you have to do certain things, and that you have to learn and grow in your ability to perform on stage. And that comes in all kinds of ways. We were talking earlier, and I said, I work with a guy, know a guy online, and he does a thing called face dancing, right? That's his topic. Now, does that capture your attention? Hey, the subtle art of face dancing. Cool. I saw that, and I went and looked him up. As Paul said, I went and did my research. And you know what he does? He's actually a theater instructor, teaches theater, okay? But he teaches people how to use their face. And it's important that you know what your face is doing at all times. Have you ever been asked, what's wrong, and there was nothing wrong? Yeah. Have you ever been asked, are you in a bad mood, and you weren't? You know why? Probably your face said something that your body and your mind weren't telling people. Most of us don't know. I tell people all the time, if you go out and find one of my videos, right, it's the subtle art of smiling. And I'll simplify it here for you, but this is how it goes. Hey, you want to know how to smile? You can give a half smile. That's this. And if you like half smile and you want to say, hey, I'm really happy, give them the whole smile. That's it. Now I'm very happy. You see, most people don't understand that what your face says, you're conveying to other people. Have you ever, we were just talking about it today. There was a lady we saw, and I'm trying to think where we saw her. Probably she was at the pharmacy. We were picking up a prescription. And some people have their mouth turns down. Have you seen that? So looking at their resting face, they're always unhappy. Man, you go, man, I'd hate to be married to that person. I would never know when they're happy. Are you happy, honey? Yeah, I'm fine. Wow, right? And then, of course, you got the other side, which is the joker face, which is, people, I don't think I've ever met anybody with the joker face who has that perpetual smile, but some people say they've met them. It's like, quit it. I'm happy with you. Quit it. When we talk about professional speaking, I tell people, my students, practice in the mirror. Practice every face you've ever had in the mirror. I used to get beat up as a kid. Starting at age 10 or 11, I got beat up. Okay, that's where I lost my first tooth, was getting knocked around on the schoolyard. Then I got older, turned 15, got beat up. 2 days later, I got beat up again by one of their friends. Right? I was like, this is not fun. Every time I'd get beat up, my dad would look at me, right, because I wasn't driving yet, and he'd say, so what's the other guy look like? I didn't even hit him, Dad. Oh, you're going to take self-defense classes. And I took 4 years of self-defense classes, jiu-jitsu, judo, karate, right? All the good stuff. And you know what I learned? I had the best instructor because I learned you never fight unless you're meant to seriously harm or kill somebody or they're trying to do that to you. Otherwise, never fight, right? But what else I learned during that time was if you're not going to fight, you have to other ways to avoid fighting. You know what that way is? Your face. I had a howdy-doody face. Now, I cover it all up with a beard right now because I have a weak chin. When I was in the service, you know, and you put this helmet on that comes to here, and you have no chin, you know what you are? A turtle. That was my nickname in the service. You know, I struck fear into the hearts of the enemy. Oh, here comes the turtle. And so I tell people all the time, when you have a face that looks like howdy doody and doesn't have a chin, people like to pick on you because they think that you're vulnerable. So it took a lot of times for me to make the right faces, learn the right faces. And I learned how to flare my nostrils. I learned how to open just one eye and look crazy. I learned how to twist. I learned how to vibrate. I learned all these wonderful things to keep from getting beat up. As I got older, that came in handy as a speaker because now I can convey almost every emotion to my audience. You want to be a great speaker? Every day, practice one facial expression in the mirror. What do you want it to say, right? Every emotion. Because when you get up and start to speak, you'll need every emotion, from anger to total happiness, ecstasy. And if you don't know a subtle eyebrow can change a meaning, if you don't know a subtle flare of your nostrils can change what you're trying to do, things change. Practice. 5 minutes. You want to be in a good mood every day? I tell people all this all the time. You want to be in a good mood? How many people here wake up in a great mood every day? Look at 3/4 of these people. Three-quarters. And some people say, well, I don't ever wake up in a good mood. You can't make yourself wake up in a good mood. I go, maybe you can't. I do. I decide at night if I'm going to wake up in a good mood or not. No matter how much sleep, no matter how much this, no matter how much that, I can wake up in a good mood. Okay? The other side is, after you get up, you're like, oh my God, what a night. Go into the bathroom, close the door, turn on the light, look in the mirror, and say, wow, you're the best looking person in the room. Now see, it made you all smile and laugh. Trust me, and I've been doing this for 30 years. When you're in that mood and you say, man, I got to get in a good mood, you do exactly that thing, and when you look in the mirror and you say, wow, you're the best looking guy in the room, Steve, I still smile. It still makes me smile. It's still a positive affirmation. So I've put myself in a good mood, and I've given myself a positive affirmation. Usually when I'm talking to 30 to 50 people, right, at a seminar, workshop, there's always one person. They don't mean to be the downer, right? I do a workshop called Balcony People and Basement People. They don't mean to be the basement person, but they'll always say, yeah, but you're the only person in the room. Get out. Just get out of my room. But I go, that's not the point, right? That is not the point. You're still putting yourself in a better mood and giving yourself a positive affirmation. That's the point. You can say, hey, I'm the only person in the room, so I'm not going to do that. Stay in a bad mood. That's up to you. Right? Okay. What time we got right now? Okay. Well, I want you to understand that I always want the best for you. The reason I put this on is not because I'm making $100,000. You understand that? The reason I put this on is because I want you to say 6 months from now, Steve, I got my first speaking gig. Steve, I used my video to do this. Steve, I put my video on my website. Steve, I used this to make this, to make this, to make this, and now I get a sizzle reel, right? And reach out to me and say, Steve, do you have any events that you can promote me to or send me so that I can get a job speaking? That's what I hope for all of you, okay? That's my goal. The reason I put this on is because my friends couldn't get on a TED Talk. They couldn't get on a TEDx. And that's important to understand, that when you can't do that, you can pay to get on my stage, right? And people go, how much? I tell them how much. They're like, oh, that's a lot. I go, try not doing it by yourself. Try hiring a videographer. I got a videographer that I've hired just to do my 1.5 hour speech in Vegas. You don't want to know how much it's costing me, all right? And that's just to get out there, and you have to get permission from the venue so that they allow you to have a videographer on there in case there's somebody else who might get offended. So there's all kinds of hoops you have to jump through, whereas you can come to SpeakerTalks and get right on the stage. The other thing I want you to always know is that everything you do from this day forward in terms of speaking is up to you. You choose to be better. You choose to learn every day. Who's doing lifelong learners? Kristen? See, most everybody. That's what we're talking about. Everybody says, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to lift you up. That's what we're here for. I want to help you improve. The reason most of us want to be speakers is because we want to help other people. We think our message will change people's lives. Now, I get a few people who say, Steve, I want to be a speaker. I go, how come? They go, well, I hate my job and I want to make $300,000. I had a guy do that about 5 years ago. I hate my job and I want to make $300,000. Okay. He said, can you help me do that? I said, absolutely, I can help you do that. It's going to cost you. And he said, that's all right. He said, how soon? Ooh, red flag. How soon? How soon do you want it? Well, it's got to be this year. It's got to be this year. Can I help any speaker make $300,000 this year? No. There's all kinds of things that you have to work your way up to, including, right, how to build yourself up as a great speaker. And that's important you understand. Nothing happens overnight. So what I want you to understand is the next person I've got coming up, I've struggled through most of my life. We talked about this yesterday. Most of my life, most of my careers, not being organized enough to be able to do what I needed to do. Dr. Phil helped me in one area, right? And then I just got with Darren a couple months ago, and his company organization is helping me in another area, okay? And that area is organization of my business, organization of my personal skills. I was looking for something just the other day. Matter of fact, where's Rosie? Rosie. And I'm looking through my emails, right? And I try and put things in the right package, right? But you know what? If your emails aren't really well organized and using just the Google 3-thing emails doesn't work for me. I can look forever, search and search and search and search. But what I found with the next thing is I can now categorize these. I can now put these in the right place. And so it's easier to find. Oh, where can I find that? Right here. Now, I'm just starting that. So it's a new concept for me, but I'm telling you, I have already seen the light. My wife has already said, oh, this is going to make a whole difference in your business and career. Because when I need to get organized, I need it. The reason I brought Darren in to be one of the speakers today is because his organization called Keep. Now, he'll tell you he's got 3 levels. One of those levels, who knows what the other first level was, the expensive level of his company? No, well, it used to be called Infusionsoft. Anybody here ever use Infusionsoft? No? Okay, and I will tell honestly, 10 years ago, when I first moved to Tampa the first time, I said, I need to do this, and I bought Infusionsoft. $1,500 and $300 a month, right? I said, but it'll help. $1,500 and $900 months later, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. Now, they were nice enough to give me most of my money back, right, after 3 months. Because I just wrote on, I went, because they tried to help me on 3 different things. They had so many. Their system was just so complicated that I went, I can't do this. Now, maybe you're a techie. I'm not a techie at all, right? If you say, hey, Steve, open up your envelope or open up your folder for this, I go, where do I find folders, right? I don't know. And so with Infusionsoft, I was absolutely lost. And so after 3 months, I said, I'm not doing this anymore. Now, fast forward 10 years, and I've tried 3 other CRM systems to help me figure out what I'm doing with this stuff. Dr. Phil, he's not here now, but he says, you need to hire somebody to teach you that. I hired somebody for a month. You know what I did? I wasted a month, right? And some money trying to help them teach me how to use a CRM system that wasn't easy to use. Darren, you mic'd up? Okay. And so what it amounted to then is I just stumbled across Darren about a year ago, and I finally decided to use his system a couple months ago. And with the technology and the help that it gives, and he'll tell you all this, I absolutely see the light at the end of the rainbow. So I brought Darren in to help you find a new path to your success in your business part of your professional speaking. All right, I want everybody now to give a big round of applause to Darren Adams.
round two, and I want to help you sort of do some other stuff that we weren't able to talk about yesterday. I'm going to sort of piggyback a little bit on some of the things that we were chatting about, because I know after talking with some of you, you still struggle. I have a lot of friends who want to be speakers, and from the first couple times I went to National Speakers Association meetings, there was a definite difference in the people who were successful speakers and the people who were wannabes. And I didn't realize it at the time, but the ones who were successful were all the ones who used Keep. And the ones who were not were the people who were just sort of aspiring. And they said, you know, someday I'm going to get on stages, and someday I'm going to be a speaker, and someday I'm going to write a book, and someday I'm going to command a lot of money for a speaking engagement. And they just sort of kept saying that someday kind of thing. And I hadn't been back to a meeting in a long time, and I went back, and the same people who were the someday wannabe people were still saying, someday I wanna, and someday I'm gonna, and someday this is gonna happen. And that sort of is part of the motivation for me to help people realize if you can get the right tools and you can get the right systems, you can get to where you want to be. Now, I know most of you were here yesterday and you heard a lot of what I talked about yesterday, and I'm going to talk about a few other things in addition to that. But because you're all speakers, and I was sitting back there and I didn't write any cards, but I had some thoughts in my mind, so I just want to share a couple generic, have nothing to do with automation, have nothing to do with systems, have nothing to do, but just some speaker things. One of the first things I've always found, the most important thing out of your mouth when you get on a stage should be something to engage people. Now, and I didn't do it today, but what I found the most powerful way to do that is a personal, relevant story. That's, I think, how you communicate and connect with people the most. If you've got to connect, you've got to engage with them, and they get drawn in with a story. Some of you had great stories, but sometimes they were buried a little bit later. And by that point, I have lost interest in sort of what you were talking about. So the most important, powerful thing out of your mouth should often be a personal, relevant story that engages people. It also depends on what you're talking about and what and another thing I want to just mention is, and Steve was talking about this, there is no substitute for a genuine smile. There was another guy who did the same kind of job that I did, and he was great. He'd been doing it for long before I got around, and he was successful, and he would get up there, and I sat there in the back once and I observed him, and he told funny stories, but the one thing he never did was he never smiled. And I thought, wait, he's telling funny things, and he's not even smiling. I think somehow he thought he was better than smiling. But if I smile, if I actually connect and I smile with people, then you can feel that. And you think, oh, this is funny. This is enjoyable. He's having a good time. So there's nothing to substitute for a good, genuine, warm smile. And I literally, Steve was talking about this, I would literally rehearse looking in a mirror and smiling. And the more I did this, because like right now I'm smiling, and it's not even like I'm saying anything funny, but I'm forcing myself to smile, because if I do, you're like, oh, seems like a nice guy and he's smiling. So force yourself to smile, and it will allow people to connect with you. The more you connect with people, the more they are engaged with you and do stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, COVID. I've had COVID, I've been vaccinated, everything, so you're in no danger of me. I want to show you some things you can do today with Keep. Keep is a marketing system that's going to help you learn how to grow your business, grow your speaking business, and your any other business through automation, so that you can just put it on autopilot and let it go and do stuff. We talked about yesterday, there's the dedicated business phone line, so you can get a new phone line. There's a calendar link, so you can send people to a calendar so they can schedule time with you. You're going to get a fantastic database that you're going to be able to organize everything in. By the way, did you notice? Did you know? I said, this is like, I'm sorry. I said you can have a phone line. I took a step. You're going to get a calendar link. I took a step. You're going to get a CRM to organize everything in. So as you're doing that, I'm reinforcing. These are some speaker tips for you as your choreography, things that's helping to reinforce people. Okay. So anyway, so some of those things. A friend of mine is, her name is Chevelle. Let me get to, there we go. So the Keep suite of tools, I'm going to walk you through some other stuff today and take you to a next level. Chevelle is a friend of mine. She is a lawyer. She's an attorney, and she coaches a lot of people on how to be more successful in the legal field. And so I was speaking at an event with Chevelle, and Chevelle had gone on a little bit. She was sort of earlier on in the day, and she had said, I've got a great resource for you. Because part of what she does is she coaches people on how to legal proof your business. So you don't have to worry about someone coming and suing you, and you've got all the stuff lined up and no legal problems. So she had spoken a little bit earlier, and she said, as part of her presentation, she said, I've got a guide that will walk you through. It's a checklist on how you can legal proof your business, so you can avoid the different legal landmines and you don't have to worry about any of that. And so she said, if you would like that, I'd like you to go to this website and you can get my guide. There were hundreds of people there. They all went and they were requesting her guide. And I thought, oh, this is great. I should get some of this great information as well. So I went and I clicked to download the guide as well. So it says here, where should we send your free guide? I fill in my information. I said, I would like the free guide, and I click the button to send the free guide. I get a confirmation. She says, fantastic, your legal guide is on its way. And if I scroll down that page a little bit farther, I get to a point where it says, you can book my legal landmine assessment session right now. If you want to actually literally talk to her and get on the phone, you can do that and have a little free little assessment. She can talk about where your dangers are and what you need to do. So I think, oh, I should probably do that. So I click on that. It takes me to a calendar where I'm able to schedule. Some of you remember yesterday some of these exact same things. So there's a calendar link where I can schedule some time with her. She says, I've got some questions for you. Can you fill out some information here so I can know a little bit about you before we have our assessment, so I can talk to you about your business, I can know where you're coming from, and get a better background on what your obstacles and your problems might be. So I fill out the information. Instantly, I get my first email from her. So I've already gotten the confirmation, and now I get my first email. Hey, thank you so much for requesting the legal landmine assessment. You can download the guide right here if you want to. So I click the button. Oh, there's her legal landmine guide assessment. I scroll down. There's a checklist there, and I can figure out, give myself a little grade and see how I'm doing with my little assessment and go from there. I also get another follow-up email from her like the next day saying, hey, welcome to our community. Here's how you can join us on our different social media platforms and join us on Facebook and Instagram and all those things. And once again, there's the claim my free session. I thought, wow, you know, Chevelle, this is some great information. So I thought, I got to reach out to Chevelle and talk to Chevelle and find out a little bit what she's doing and how she's doing this. So I emailed her. I said, Chevelle, hey, do you have some time? She's like, yeah, I'd love to be able to share you some stuff, but you got to contact me quickly because I'm getting ready to go to bed. And I'm thinking, I can imagine she's probably exhausted all day long. She's been sending out hundreds of notifications. She's been sending out hundreds of confirmations. She's been sending out hundreds of calendar links. She's been sending out hundreds of her checklist assessment things. She's been crazy all day long sending all this stuff out. I said, yeah, and then she said, actually, I'm in Bali. So I'm in a different time zone. Like, wow, this is hard for her. She's like working overseas. She's trying to manage all this stuff. She's sending out all these hundreds or thousands of emails while she's in a different country, trying to, not really even sure why she was in Bali and why she was trying to, because she had just spoken. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself here. Because she said, I'm getting ready to go to sleep. And I said, I can imagine you're exhausted. She's like, oh no, I'm not going to bed. I rented a little palapa. I'm just here on vacation in Bali. I'm enjoying a couple weeks over here, and I have booked a masseuse to come, and I'm gonna give them a massage, and I've got my little fancy drink, and I'm just gonna be dozing off here. I'm not going to bed, going to sleep for the day. I'm just relaxing and taking a little bit of a nap. And then once I'm finished with my little nap here after my massage, I've also got my private little hot tub that I'm going to recline in, and I'm gonna probably take a little snooze there while I'm reclining there at the end of the day. That's what my life is. I'm here on vacation in Bali. I said, wait a minute, you just did a whole big presentation. You sent hundreds and thousands of emails out. You sent confirmations. You sent calendar links. You sent all the, did you notice, by the way, that was the thing? I did this thing, there's little speaker tips for you. Pay attention. So you're getting double duty. I'm telling you how to automate your business, and I'm giving you some little speaker tips. So I said, you've done all these different things. She's like, yeah, that was all set up on automation. That was set up before I ever got on the plane to fly to Bali, so that I could sit here and recline in the hot tub, and I could get my fancy drink with my massage. That's all done before I ever got here. That's the beauty of automation, so that I can get on a stage. I can command top dollar to get on a stage, and then I can capture all the people in the audience and turn those people into money as well. because it's all done through automation, and that's how I was able to do all these things. And then even while I was talking to her on the phone, I got another email from her with a picture of her literally reclining in her hot tub while she was in Bali. And that was set up on automation as well, because I was talking to her while that even went out. That's the beauty of how you grow your business on automation, when you have the right systems. As I said yesterday, it is not a matter of who's the best speaker. It's the one who has the best systems, who has the best processes, who has the best marketing, who has all those tools. That's who will make the most money. That's the people who will be successful in this. So because of that, I wanted to share with you, I want to sort of brainstorm a little bit with you some ideas, because part of the whole goal is getting people into your funnel, into your list. The more people that you have in that list, and the better they are segmented, the more money you will be able to make. There is a general rule of thumb, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, that you should be able to make $1 per month from each person in your database. So if you had a database of 1,000 people, you could mine those people, you could make offers to those people to get $1,000 every month from offers that you could do for those people, whether it's courses or books or coaching or whatever that is. So that's just sort of the general rule of thumb. And if you were to have 10,000 people on your list, you should be able to get $10,000. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that as a general rule of it's a broad statement, because some people are doing much higher end items and some people are doing lower end items. But as a rule of thumb, there are people who agree that you should get $1 every month from each person on your database. So with that goal in mind, we want to fill our list. We want to, like this funnel, and I call them funnel fillers. So I've come up with a list of what I think are the worst funnel fillers and the best funnel fillers. And I do not mean to offend anyone here if you have one of the worst funnel fillers. But the whole point is funnel fillers change. We call them sometimes lead magnets, something you offer for free in exchange for someone's email address. And things that worked well 10 years ago do not work as well now. So, worst funnel fillers. I know I'm going to offend people because I'm sure some people have some of these worst funnel fillers out there. Does anyone have a lead magnet that they offer? Does anyone have, you come to a website, you come to a landing page, you go to something, you're from a stage, and you say, hey, I've got a free offer for you, go here. Okay, we got, now I'm getting nervous here because I'm going to, okay, Steve, what's your lead magnet?
Top 5 things to put on your website to help you be a better speaker.
I love that, okay. I'm coming back to that one. Dr. Phil, what's your funnel filler lead magnet?
The 9-question quiz.
A 9-question quiz. Great. Who else did I see a hand? Yes. It's Sam? Yeah. Sam, you weren't here yesterday.
Jury duty.
Wow. Pish posh. Well, welcome, Sam. What do you talk about, by the way?
How to start a small business with little capital.
Okay, I really love that. Okay. Okay, so your lead magnet is?
Download my free book.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. And you have, is it an ebook or is it a real book? Okay. Good. I saw a couple more. Keith had something.
Fill out a lead form, and you could win a $250 American Express card.
Oh, okay. Free giveaway. John?
8 misunderstandings about retirement and how to understand them better.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. I got a couple more. Yes? A webinar. Okay. Another webinar. Okay. Oh, who? Oh, sorry.
A free photo session for 3-month-olds.
Oh. Wait, but give me the last part. A free photo session for what?
For 3-month-olds.
Oh. Like little tiny ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Little baby pictures. Okay. First of all, I thought, wait, I have 3 months to redeem it? I was so confused. Okay, but I'm not coming in. I'm bringing my 3-month-old in or something like that. Okay. Good. Did you?
Free consultation.
A free consultation. Okay. Yes.
The 10 must-ask questions when you do your Medicare options.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay. Some of those are on my good list. Some of those are on my not so good list. Because I know. Now I'm nervous. I shouldn't have asked first, should I? What used to work really well does not necessarily work as well now, and like even the webinar thing is an iffy kind of thing. So one of the worst funnel fillers that used to be very popular is, unfortunately, one of two things: a free book chapter. I've written a book, and I want to give you a chapter of my book. Greg, what's your book on? It's like on leadership and stuff, right? Yeah. So Greg's written a book on leadership, and so that would be a lead magnet. I'm going to give you a chapter of my book. And do you know what? It doesn't do well, because the last thing I want is a chapter of a book, because I'm like, well, I'm not really sure what to do with the chapter of a book. Because then I think, like, if I really like that, I have to buy the rest of the book or something. So a chapter of a book, and we get so attached to our books, and we write a book. Oh, that's such a great book. I love my book, and we think, oh, everybody was going to love I'll give them a free chapter of my book. Most people, when they download that, they're never going to read it. And they started that like 5-10 years ago, like, oh yeah, I'm going to read that, and they download it, and then they don't ever. And so then after a few years, they're like, I'm never getting back to that. I'm never going to read that book. And so I don't want to download any other chapters of the book because because we just don't get around to it. So along the same lines of a free book chapter, unfortunately, is a free ebook, because it's the same type of thing. There's good content in there. And Sam, I'm not mocking your content, because I think your content is good. The problem is you have to take that free book or the free chapter of the book. I'm looking at Greg like he offers a free chapter of the book. You don't offer it. But you take that content and you just repurpose it. So you don't offer it as a free book. Because if you say, I'm giving you a free book or I'm giving you a free ebook, then I'm not going to download it. That's not an incentive to me. But if you can take it and reframe it as something that does seem like it has value to me, then I'm more excited about that. Then I'm going to be more apt to do something. One other negative is join my mailing list. This is probably one of the worst ones that's out. This was good maybe like 20 years ago when email was first coming out. We're like, oh, email? I like getting emails. Emails, like, you want to go out to the post office, I'm in the mailbox, oh, what mail did I get today? And now the same thing with like an email. What's in my email? You've got mail, what I get today? And now we hate getting mail because we're overwhelmed by all this stuff. And we're like, someone was saying the greatest lie that was ever delivered to the American people was, you subscribe to this email list or something like that. No, I didn't subscribe to that. So people don't want to get your emails. People want to get your content. People want to have you share things with them, but they don't want to subscribe to an email list. That is not an incentive for people. So don't tell people don't do this kind of thing right here. Join my list. I'll send you emails. No, do not ever use a landing page that says something like that, where it says, join my list and I'm going to send you emails. That's not an incentive, and nobody wants that. So those are just a couple of the worst emails. Now, worst landing pages. Now, some of you had some really good ideas, and some of those are even on some of my best lists for some of the best funnel fillers. I forgot which one's first, but there are a couple new trends that are out right now that are quite popular and work well. So one of the best ones is a challenge, to take a challenge. So maybe you've seen things where someone says, hey, you can join my challenge. It's like that 75 hard? What's the 75 hard thing where you have to do 75? Has anyone done the 75 hard challenge? It's like you have to, are only my friends on social media the ones doing 75 hard? You have to work out every day outside, and you have to run like a 5K every day for 75 days. Anyway, some crazy, insane thing. But everyone's all on, oh, I'm doing the 75 hard challenge. And they all post pictures of them doing the challenge. So if you have a challenge that can help people, what's your first name? Woodgie. I've never heard of somebody named Woodgie. Is that a short for like Wojciechowicz or something? Okay, Woodgie. Okay, I love it. What do you do?
Well, I do a lot of things, but one thing I do, I have a networking company called MGM Friends. We used to have 25 locations until the pandemic hit. Now we're coming back to 5 locations, and we're, putting the other locations, reopening other locations. But it's all about networking.
Love it. Okay. So Woodgie's going to come up with a challenge. I need you guys to help me come up with. We're going to crowdsource this. What would be a good challenge that Woodgie could do? Hey, be part of this challenge. Every day I'm going to send you a new challenge. For 5 days. We've got this. Here's my blah blah blah. Here's challenge number 1. The next day here's challenge number 2. What could he do? Anybody have any thoughts?
Have each person invite one person to one of the networking groups.
So yeah, there could, yeah. I don't want to just drive people to his networking group. Because Woodgie is an expert on what, would you guess? Networking, exactly. So I want to have this challenge focused around not so much coming to his networking group, but just being a better networker.
How about you get to submit a successful networking experience?
Yeah, that could be something. So like maybe there are 5 days, and one of them is share on social media your best networking experience you have. Sam, what were you going to say? See, you're thinking alike. You're sitting there like the wavelengths, whatever thing. So that could be it. Post on social media, da-da-da-da-da. Then the next day could be,
Prior to that, go to Walmart and say hi to 15 people.
That could be a great, fantastic thing. That's the very first thing, is go to Walmart, say hi to 15 people. Take a picture with one of them, post it on social media. Hashtag networking challenge or whatever Woodgie's networking challenge or whatever you want to do. And so that would be a fantastic thing, because now people are into the challenge, and you start easy and then get a little more challenging. By the time you're up to day 5, then you feel like, oh, I'm doing a little bit better at this networking challenge. And then if people see, oh, so-and-so posted something about the networking challenge, they're like, oh, I wonder what that's about. I should go. And you hashtag it on social media, you engage with people. And now I feel like, oh, this is something. It's almost like a movement that you have created. So challenges are fantastic. If you can create some kind of a challenge as far as what you do, there's a more likely that people are going to get on board with that. And then every day, once again, they sign up for it. You can just say, here's the 5 things in the challenge. But no, every day you send them an email. You say, here's challenge activity number 2 today. Hope you did such and such from yesterday. Here's challenge activity number 2. So today you have to go to Walmart. And yes, Keith.
Would taking a challenge be similar to like taking a trivia questions or trivia quiz?
Like a poll?
A challenge is going to be a little bit more me physically doing something. Because the more physically
The point was to get the names into the funnel for the leads.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would probably maybe not call that a challenge. So like maybe like a travel
quiz.
Yeah, so I think that could work. Sign up.
Or trivia night I did.
Yeah, so So I mean, I could see, I like that. I also could see, hey, I've got a 5-day challenge. I've got 5 trivia questions about travel. If you want to do this, join along, and every day I'll send you a different trivia question and see if you can get all 5. And it's going to get progressively harder. See how many levels you can get to. My son and I do the Amazon question of the day every day, and it's like our obsession, and we have to do that. So some people are into that kind of Jeopardy questioning kind of thing. So I think that could be good. Okay, so that's one. Is it, yes?
Yeah, so, another challenge, which I just went through this 4-day thing, and there was a health challenge. So you take 10 days where you cut out all the evil foods, no sugars, no oils, no this, no that, and you do it for 10 days. And then, people report on, whether they've been able to sustain that over a 10-day period.
I hate that kind of a challenge, just so you know.
Who doesn't?
I know. I'm not from Florida, and Gideon's Bakehouse just opened at Disney Springs. It's like these decadent cookies, and I thought, I got to go. So I drove 2 hours over to Disney Springs through traffic last night to get there to find out that I needed to be on a virtual queue waiting list. There's like a line 50 yards long. I'm like, can I just get in? No, these people have been waiting all day long. You can't get in. So you can come back at closing time, and maybe if there's room, you can get in line. So I had to kill 2 hours just trying to get on the waiting list. This is a total tangent you didn't want to hear. I came back after 2 hours of killing time, just so and they said, sorry, the line's too long, you still can't get in. I'm like, seriously? I have wasted like 4 hours of my life to get one of these cookies, and so I went up to the front of the line, I gave someone $20, and said, can you just get me some cookies and bring them out to me? So that's, I thought, why didn't I?
What's it called?
Gideon's Bakehouse. Go look it up. It's like, I didn't eat them. I brought them back in a box, and I'm taking them home. I thought, after all this, I am sharing them with people. I'm not going to just on my own. So, sorry. I know, I was very tempted. It was very hard. So yeah, so you get the idea. You get the idea of what a challenge does. And a challenge, so people then say, oh, I want to be part of that challenge. There's a chance for you to create a movement with a challenge. People are a part of something bigger with a challenge. They feel like, oh, I hope I can do this. And that's a way to get names in your list. So that you get people in. And then these people are likely interested in whatever you're talking about. They want to engage with you in whatever that is. So you know that they're good potential customers doing something with you. Okay, so challenges are good. The next one is a mini video course. This is a big thing that Jeff Walker, if you're familiar with Jeff Walker, he teaches the whole thing about a video course. So maybe, I'm trying to think who else, it's Jim? No, Kim. Tim. Oh, I was thinking they said Kim earlier. Okay, Tim. So, okay, and Tim, you're teaching about culture. So Tim could have a video series where every day, so someone says, hey, do you want to create a better culture at your company? Sign up here and I'm going to put you on my video course where every day I'm going to send you a short video and a little question, a little 5-part question thing about the thing. So day number 1 is a little, by the way, video is king, but video also needs to be short. Nobody wants to watch a long video. So have them snackable sizes, short consumable, the whole idea behind Quibi, the quick bites, little TVs, like under a minute of a short video saying, okay, here's the thing you need to work on today, blah, 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 blah. Now, I've got 3 questions. See if you can answer these 3 questions. So every day, automatically, that video gets mailed out, and then here are the 3 questions you need to be able to answer. And then each day that builds. So people like video courses. People often buy video courses if they're bigger and beefier and more substantial. This is just a sampler taste size of a video course so that you could send out to someone. It does multiple things. It teaches people. It gets people in your funnel, into your sequence, into your automation. But it really gets people to fall in love with you because every day now they watch a video of you and they're like, oh, I'm getting to know them. I get to know this person. I sort of like this person. Oh, after 3 days, oh yeah, I feel like I'm friends. There's a much better likelihood that they're going to hire you to work with them if they've gotten to know you through a video course. So a video course is a great thing. You set that up. I mean, obviously, all these things you could set up inside of a Keep. So if someone signs up, and then they're here these 5 videos that you've created. Day 1, video and questions get mailed out. Day number 2, video and questions get mailed out. Day number 3, video, and that just goes out. And then they've completed the whole course. Once they've got them in, then you turn them over to a different sequence, a different funnel, a different series of emails that can go out to continue to nurture them to whatever your next step is. So if you have a paid course, or if you want them to hire you to come speak, if you want them to come work with your company, if you want whatever that is, then you get them to that point. So the first part is just the funnel filler, lead magnet video course. So challenges are big. Video course. The next one is, this sort of goes along with the video, and this is the idea of, and I have this on here only because I have out of slide. I didn't have some of my slides, access to some of my slides. But this is the guy who teaches about real estate investing. And he's like, here, you can get access to a webinar right here. It's an on-demand webinar. And because I know a couple of you said webinars. Webinars are pros and cons. Webinars are good and bad. A webinar is probably, and after I put it in, I thought, oh, it's probably not as good as it used to be. A webinar is probably too big of a consumption of video all at once for a funnel filler. If you've got really good content, then maybe. But as a general rule, I don't want to, and the other part I hate is, like when people say, oh, it's a free webinar. Oh, really? Since when did anybody charge for a webinar? Webinars are always free, okay? So don't try to be like, hey, it is exclusive. Get a hold of this free webinar. Like, hey, it's not that exclusive. It's available all the time. It's always going to be free. You got all this stuff. So don't try to oversell something. Webinars, just be a little, yeah. You can also invite people to what they call like an evergreen webinar. So they have systems that says, hey, a webinar is starting, and this can be good. It's almost going to be, they call it jumping the shark. It's almost going to be a little bit too much in a second. Sign up for this webinar. A webinar is starting in just about in like 45 minutes. You sign up just at the right time, webinar starting, be able to jump on soon. Now that webinar is going to be running forever. I could sign up in the middle of the night and I'm going to get a thing saying that it's webinar starting in 45 minutes. I could sign up 12 years from now, that webinar is just starting in 45 minutes. And so I just click on that and I can join it. So it's like an evergreen go-to webinar where people can just join. And it seems like it's a live experience for them at the time. But once again, if you're going to do webinars, it's all about consumption and time. Don't make things long. Try to make things as engaging as possible. So those can be good for you as well. Oh, yeah, this is just the sign-up link, which connects them to Keep. So it just puts them in. And we had a couple people say checklist. A checklist is actually very good. People like a checklist. They like an assessment of themselves. They like to do a little report card. Someone had a checklist or something, didn't Phil, oh, that's right. What's your checklist? Oh, you have a quiz? Yeah. I love quizzes and checklists. Those are assessment kind of thing. I mean, those are all kind of things where I'm interactive. And what was it? 8 things? No. They get their inborn sabotage trait and then Wait, say one more time. They get their inborn sabotage trait, things that sabotage them that they were born with. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of thing. If I can take a quiz and I get a result. Yesterday I was doing the presentation, like Ryan Levesque gives me an analyzation of what kind of business I should start. It was the PBEF, passion-based event focused. And Elizabeth Ryder figured out which healthy mistake was killing my healthy eating habits. And clearly it was driving to Disney Springs to get cookies and in the middle of the night after. I know, but I didn't eat them. So checklists are good. Is this Mona? That's my wife's nickname. Oh.
Hardly ever run into them.
I know. What do you do?
I am a job coach, and I help individuals that have abilities that people call disabilities. So I help them get over that bridge, and also relationships that have that situation.
Fantastic. So, I mean, that could be a way to analyze what are some, most people probably already know their disabilities, but maybe an analyzation of what your disabilities are, and then the result is, hey, here's how that really is a strength, or here's how you can turn this into something. So a checklist or a quiz that could be good with that. I think I got one more as a good funnel filler. Oh, that's just a sign up for a checklist kind of thing. You get the idea. Is a resource guide. So sometimes we're experts in different areas. I'll pick on Keith because Keith is into travel. So maybe it's him saying, hey, are you getting ready to travel? Borders are opening up. You're getting ready to take a trip. I want to tell you, I travel a ton. I don't care if Keith really travels a ton. But he's going to say, I'm going to tell you the 5 most important things that you need to have when you're going on a trip to Mexico. The 5 most important things you have to when you're going to Europe. 5 most important things whenever. And I'm going to show you. Or 5 most important things whenever you're going to travel. And then it's going to be a list of, here's the link to it. Here's where you can buy it on Amazon. Here's my favorite suitcase. Here's my favorite wallet that no one's going to be able to pickpocket. Here's my favorite nightlight to use in a hotel, whatever it might be. And he's going to have a list of things, and he says, I'm going to share with you my personal guides. I've got links on how to buy all of them if you want to. It's not like he's making money off this. This is just him. Now I'm thinking like, oh, I'd love to have that. And I don't have to go search and find myself and analyze it. Keith's done all the work for me, and he's going to tell me what exactly I need to do. So people like it if you have a done-for-you resource guide. If I'm doing headshots, and I'm going to show you, I've got a resource guide on how you can take the best pictures. If you're getting ready to go on a vacation or whatever, it doesn't have to be just for headshots. It could be any kind of photography kind of a thing. I'm going to show you my best tricks and tools and things that I have in the photography. Here's my best flash. Here's my best camera bag. Here's my best tripod. Here's whatever it might be. And you have the links to all of those. Then it's like done for you. It's ready to go. Think of what would someone want to print out. They want it so much they want to print it out and they want to save it. They would do that to a checklist. They would do that to a resource guide. And so those are good funnel fillers that actually incentivize people enough they say, yeah, I want to be part of that. So I think that was my last one of the good ones. The whole idea is then you automate that whole follow-up. The whole point of getting those people into the funnel is so that then you can nurture those people. You get them in, you can see who's reading, who's clicking, who's downloading, who's consuming it, who's going through the quiz, what results they're getting, and that all that information is critical. This is what companies pay tons of money for, big data. And you're able to get the same kind of a thing as you get the information in. So that's the beauty of funnel fillers or lead magnets, and then that's just the top of the funnel, and then you automate everything that happens. Just like Chevelle, all those emails that went out after that, every single one of you, when you get a lead magnet, you have the automation built in to follow up after that. That's what we sort of talked about yesterday with the automated campaigns, the nurture campaigns to take people so they turn into someone who's just interested into someone who's actually going to pay you some money. I'll tell you a quick little story about Joe. Joe is he's actually a rocket scientist guy, and he created this back-stretching contraption kind of a thing here. And so he was trying to sell this. Now, I want you just to insert into whatever you're selling. You're not selling a back-stretching contraption, but you're all selling coaching or training or trips or advice or whatever, speaking engagements, whatever it is. So you just insert that same kind of a thing. So he says, I've got this back stretcher here. For him, he starts off with a Facebook ad. So that's a great place that you could start with. His Facebook ad, he's like, I've got his free lead magnet. This was a few years ago. It was a free ebook, which is not good, but it's what he has. So he said, I've got this ebook on back pain be gone. If you have back pain, this book will tell you how to alleviate your back pain. Once again, he could take that same content and reformulate it into a checklist or a resource guide or any of the things that we talked about. But at least for him, he had it as an ebook. So I click on that. I say, I want that. I have back pain. I've got my pinched nerve or whatever. And so I say, I want his copy of his book. I want to make sure back pain be gone. So I click on that. Once again, you know what happens. It takes me to a landing page. I fill in my information so I can do that. This is what it looks like inside of Keep. This is what a Keep campaign builder looks like. So I just want to break down. I normally don't show inside software to people because I don't want people to get freaked out or weirded out, but I just want to show you how simplistic this can be. So that first thing over on the left is a tag. That's now a tag that is put on the person. Like, so I enter my information in, it creates a contact record for me, and there is a tag that says, like a little sticky note, this person requested the ebook of Back Pain Be Gone. So then that starts the automation. That next little the next green box with the clock in the middle of it is delivering the ebook to the person. Skip over the arrow, and the next one is getting them to buy the back stretcher. So there are two main parts here. Deliver the ebook, and then get them to buy the back stretcher. So if we jump inside of the deliver the ebook, this is what it looks like. So they fill out the lead form. That looks like the little driver's license thing there. You fill out the lead magnet form. The tag gets applied. Now it's a series of emails and timer, email, timer, email, timer. That first email goes out saying, hey, thank you for requesting the book. Make sure you download it. Now the timer goes by. I'm going to wait a day. I'm going to wait 2 days. I'm going to make whatever I decide I want to wait. The next email goes out. Hey, I sent you that book yesterday. Did you get a chance to download it? Hope you do. There's some great information. Next day. Did you wake up with back pain today? Probably so. There's some great information on chapter 4 about blah, 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 whatever it might be. So you create those emails and the automation. You type them once, you put them into a sequence, into a campaign. So every time someone downloads your lead magnet, whatever it is, you don't have to do anything. The emails just go, they go, they go, they go, they go forever until that person finally downloads the ebook. Downloads your lead magnet, your funnel filler, whatever it is. At some point, as soon as they do that, then the first email, hey, thanks so much for downloading the book. You can always buy now. You can buy the back stretcher if you want to. So now they've downloaded the lead magnet. So here's the next part. So the first box that we looked at was deliver the ebook. The next part is get them to buy the back stretcher, which is the exact same principle. Email, timer, email, timer, email, timer. Buy the back stretcher, buy the back stretcher, buy the back stretcher, buy the back stretcher. I mean, he doesn't say buy the back stretcher every day, but you get the idea. He's making an offer to letting them know, here's how I can solve your problem. I know you have pain. I can take care of that. I know you have pain. I still can take care of that. I know you still have pain. I can still take care of that. And he finds clever, interesting ways each day to make that offer until finally someone says, I should just buy that back stretcher. And when they do, they get the email, thanks for buying the back stretcher. Be part of our community. Join us on Facebook. And Joe doesn't have to send any of those emails out. Joe doesn't worry about any of that. All that is done with having a lead magnet and building the automation that goes into that. That's more of really what the automation, the magic, the secret sauce, the pixie dust, all that kind of stuff that makes your business run and grow and do stuff while you're in a hot tub or getting a massage in Bali. This is really the heart of what this is all about. So, Keep is what PC Magazine calls the best marketing automation. Business News Daily calls it the easiest to use CRM. People are all excited. Since they introduced Keep and have the new product of Keep instead of Infusionsoft, it is the world industry gold standard leader in doing all this stuff. So Steve mentions, I'm just going to run through, because a couple of you are new today, and some of you might have had questions from yesterday. Infusionsoft was what that program used to be, the bigger one. And now Keep Pro is the new flagship, and Keep Grow or Keep Light is the lesser one. Keep Pro is normally $149 a month, and Keep Grow or Light is $79 a month. But because you're here, you all get partner pricing that we talked about yesterday. So there's the exciting part. You get reduced to $99 a month for your Keep Pro. Normally in the middle column there, you get one user, 500 contacts, and the 3 one-on-one sessions. And by the way, this was a great deal because, as I told you, it used to be thousands of dollars. So you get grandfathered in at $99 a month. We take your database size and we grow it from 500 to 2,500. So you have a database that can hold 2,500 contacts. And you can go it from there too, but that's most people, 2,500 is going to be an average good size to keep you going for a while. So you get a database that can hold 2,500 contacts. You're going to get an additional user free on top of that, so you and someone else can both be getting access. And it's not just 2 people can be in their building, but 2 people have access to the calendar links. 2 people you can both be booking things. 2 people can answer that when someone calls you on your phone line, either one of you could answer that and respond to those people. If you have campaigns in another system like ConvertKit or something like that, we can help you migrate those over and get them set up, and your first 3 months are 50% off. So it already went down to $99, and now now it's down to $49 for your first 3 months. We want to make sure you understand how to use this. I don't want anybody to be nervous about this. Oh, did I push something? Did it go bad? Oh, there we go. Okay. So we bought you a video course from these guys, and Dr. Phil was just saying how much he loves these guys. They put together a video course that walks you through things in a great, easy-to-understand way. We then have 4 one-on-one coaching sessions set up for you with Success Engine. They're going to get on a call with you. Their whole goal is to take the stress out of the tech for you. And you just tell them what you want to do. They help you build that. They help you get it going. They help you import contacts. They help you build landing pages. They help you build your automation. All that kind of stuff that we were showing you, they help you do. You can type the emails in, and they do all this stuff for you. They've got a little booster webinar on Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern that you can jump on board, and that's completely free. You don't have to pay anything. Pardon? Yeah. Of course, yeah, I guess, of course, it wouldn't really, the webinar is always free, but the coaching is not always free, and the video course is not always free. The video course, they charge $60, $70 for or whatever, but the webinar, they're of course free. So all of that completely is covered for you. You don't have to worry about anything, and then we don't ask you to sign any contracts. So you have the lowest cost you could ever possibly get. You have the best coaching and training and resource to get you up to speed, and you have no fear about being trapped into any kind of a long-term contract. This is the opportunity that you've been waiting for. As we mentioned yesterday, everybody who was on the stage yesterday, every single one of them used Keep. And some of them even coach their other people to make sure they use Keep as well. Okay, let me run through all the bonus stuff again. So you get 2,000 bonus contact database, so you have a database that can hold 2,500. You get a bonus user. Your onboarding is completely free, including the free webinar, yeah. And no contract required. It's 50% off your first 3 months. All you have to do to get signed up is go to keepnow.com/SpeakerTalks. I know several of you got signed up yesterday. Some of you started the form and didn't get that completed. But just make sure you do that. The sooner you get on there and get signed up, the sooner you can schedule your coaching to make sure it's a time period that's going to work for you. So keepnow.com/SpeakerTalks. When you go there, this is the exact page that you see. You can see you're going to be charged the $49.50 today. Just filling the information out. You're going to get, over on the right, you get the special edition reduced to $99, the extra contacts, the extra user, and 50% off your first 3 months. Keepnow.com/SpeakerTalks is how you take advantage. Yes?
We can sign up once we get home, can't we?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
So it's not like you have to do it now or it's going to expire. I don't know always how long they leave these up. They get it activated when I'm going to go make a presentation and get people enrolled. And they normally leave it up for a little while after that, and I never know when they're going to take it down and say, okay, sorry, we're discontinuing that. So you're fine to do it tonight. I wouldn't encourage you to delay too long, because I'd hate to go there like 3 or 4 days from now, like, wait, it's not there anymore. But you should be able to. Okay. What other questions does anyone have? Yes? We have lots of financial advisors that use us. We are HIPAA compliant, so even doctors can use us. So there shouldn't be any problem. We've never had any problems with security. No one's ever hacked into us and stolen information or anything like that. But yeah, we have to be HIPAA compliant so that medical offices can even use us too. So you should be set. What other questions? By the way, I just violated a cardinal rule. But it's because this is a little more informal. Don't ever ask for questions at the end of a presentation. When you ask for questions at the end of a presentation, it gives people an opportunity to derail where you're going, and you build to a grand finale conclusion, and you just want to, boom, drop mic and walk off. But because this is more of a Q&A and a little more informal thing, we can do this and I don't have to worry about, like, oh, you asked for questions. You should never do that at the end of a presentation. Anyway, what other questions anybody have? I know in your mind, you're all these the speakers. You're like, speakers are always critiquing other speakers in their minds. Yes.
So at the one right above this program that the special is on, how many people does that include or contacts?
If you outgrow your database, you don't have to shift to a different program. You'll just call us and say, hey, I need an extra 1,000 contacts in my database. And it's like an extra $30 for 1,000 contacts, and then it becomes more affordable as you scale up from that. So there are people who use, even though there are 3 different levels, there are people who use Keep Pro who could have 100,000 contacts in their database. They don't move to a different platform or, So it's not based purely on the size of your database. It's based on what you want to do. Keep Lite or it doesn't have automation. Keep Pro has automation, and then Keep Max has e-commerce built in. So, yes, Keith.
Which program can you automate your social media from?
You don't really, none of them would automate posts on social media. Now, they all integrate with social media, so you could have a link on a social media post that would take them to a landing page that would trigger.
Could you pre-program your social media posts?
Wait, say it one more time. If you
pre-program your social media posts?
So you wouldn't do that. You would use like a Hootsuite or another program like that. So. Yeah. So we integrate, and it sort of depends on what you want to integrate and what do you want to have connect. But we have an open API, and so almost any other program, we were sort of talking about this yesterday, any program that has an open API, you can connect with a tool called Zapier to make those things work together to connect. But it just sort of depends on what elements you want to connect together. Anything else? Any other questions? Yes? Yeah. If you use Gmail, they take it a little less seriously. If you use AOL, they use you a little bit less seriously on top of that. But that's the whole point. People are making judgments of you when you send emails out. There are people I know who got signed up with Keep merely so that so the Keep logo or the Keep name or the Keep brand would be associated with him. Because they said, once they switched over, they said, people came in and said, like, oh, your business is doing really well. I see you're using Keep now. And like, yeah. And the business hadn't changed. It was just the perception all of a sudden had changed. Like, oh, now you're legitimate. Now you're real. You're using real tools, and you're obviously successful. And you get that boost for $49 a month and all the other stuff that goes with it. If you have any questions, come see me at lunch and we can chat more about it. But we would love to welcome you all to the Keep family. Thank you all.
I want the 5 people who already spoke to come like right up here, come right over here, all right? And then we're going to record you one at a time, just doing a 30-second, this is what you thought of your time on stage in SpeakerTalks. 30 seconds max. I don't want a testimonial, I mean, a big thing. I want this long so we can use it in our promotions. So, this is what I want. So you people in the afternoon, think of it too. Hi, I'm Steve Sapato. I'm with Steve Sapato Seminars. I'm speaking here at SpeakerTalks, boom, and whatever you thought about SpeakerTalks, right? You and the company or who you represent. I don't want your email. This is not the time for your email. Hi, I'm Steve Sapato. You can reach me at Steve. No, all right? Hi, I'm Steve Sapato. I'm with Steve Sapato Seminars, and I'm at SpeakerTalks. Boom. This is what I thought of it. It was a fantastic event. It was a good event. Hey, you know what? It was okay. I want you to be real. I didn't mean I'll use your stuff, but I want you to be real on what you experienced here at SpeakerTalks. Everybody okay with that? I don't want you to lie. I want you to enhance. But yeah, and this is what I want you to understand. The more you can say, hey, I was on SpeakerTalks, and put on your LinkedIn, I'm a SpeakerTalks speaker, right? We grow this. You're going to be one of the first, 3rd generation, but one of the first actual SpeakerTalks speakers. People are going to see that on your thing and go, what's a SpeakerTalks speaker? They're going to look it up. They're going to find out that we're a really reputable organization, right? You now associate, as everybody said, we're associate up. I also want you to be able to say, hey, these are some of my people that work with me on SpeakerTalks. I really, back this person. I really support this person. If you haven't seen Darren Keep speak, or Darren Adams speak, he's absolutely phenomenal. That type of stuff, okay? That'll be on your posts after you leave SpeakerTalks, all right?
A quick question.
Question.
So, Steve Sapato Seminars, do you want us to say that or just to speak? Because we want to highlight the SpeakerTalks better so they can start researching. Again, just saying that sentence will take also 5 seconds. And then,
yep. Yeah. Hi, I'm Steve Sapato with Steve Sapato Seminars. I was just speaking at SpeakerTalks, or I just appeared on SpeakerTalks. Hey, I was just on SpeakerTalks, right? So whatever your name is and your company, and then whatever you want to follow that up with, right? We just want to include SpeakerTalks so people, like you said, people can look